Welcome into Don Lovell Memorial Field here on the campus of Marktree High School for this Friday night edition of Prep Football on Tubetown. Andy Manus and Ryan Short here with you tonight for this 3-2A matchup between the Marktree Indians and the East Poinsett County Warriors. Not just any conference matchup, though. This one is one of the biggest rivalries in all of Northeast Arkansas. Both of these towns separated by just about 10 miles of highway. You can always throw the records out the window whenever these two teams play each other because of the intensity that goes into each evening.
Absolutely. For EPC, you see they come into the season 4-1 so far. They've had some impressive victories, especially last week at Midland, a 46-6 win. They've always taken that series, but if you look at the games so far that each team has played to get to this point, you can see a few games on the schedule that you can sort of tack up to be a measuring stick to what you can expect tonight. Both these teams coming in tonight have played Walnut Ridge. Of course, EPC won that lost that game. That's their one loss on the season, 18-41. And you look across over at the Marktree schedule that they've had so far. They lost that one 0-44. So the Walnut Ridge team obviously is a very stout team in this conference that they both faced. But like you said, Andy, tonight, throw the records out the door because they're playing for a whole lot more than just another win as far as their teams are concerned.
Yeah, Marktree's won 2 out of the last 3 between these two squads. They shut out EPC last year 38-0. Had an amazing year last year, finished 10-2, 6-0 in the conference. This year, not off to a great start, 1-4 so far, but again, trying to add another win to that column here tonight against the EPC Warriors. EPC won the toss. They're going to receive to open tonight's game, and the ball is taken inside the 20, now out to the 35-yard line and bottled up in the middle between the hash marks. The Warriors will come out and start on offense tonight at the 33-yard line under quarterback Preston Raines.
Yeah, another young man that we're going to see tonight for EPC, Rayshawn Gates, the junior running back. He's going to be in the backfield. He's going to be taking a good chunk of the plays as far as being the offensive powerhouse for that team.
Yeah, you talked about facing that stiff Walnut Ridge team earlier in the year. Gates put up 185 rushing yards in 24 attempts and 3 scores against the Bobcats in that game. Here he is taking the handoff on 1st and 10 across the 35-yard line down to the 36, and he'll pick up about 1.5 yards on first down. Give him 2, 2nd and 8 coming up.
Yeah, we're in the home stretch of the season now, so these teams definitely, you can look across and see their rosters aren't very deep as we're dealing with school districts that don't have a whole lot of personnel to choose from. But that being said, they're coming out full-blown tonight.
Yeah, we talked a little bit throughout the season about, a lot of teams having players go both ways. You're going to see that a lot tonight here for the Marktree Indians. 2nd and 8 coming up for the Warriors, a 4 wide receiver set. Raines takes a snap, looking to throw, flushed out of the pocket. Indians defense chasing him down. They'll bring him down behind the line at the 25-yard line. A couple of Indians in there on that play, and they stop him for a loss. 3rd and long coming up. Take a look as these 3 rushers just make it right through the line.
Preston Raines just had absolutely no time right there to do anything with offense. Receivers weren't really even to gather themselves and run any of their routes.
Yeah, Chris Ivy and Jordan Ratton were the 2 Indians that got in there to chase Raines down. So, again, 3rd and about 15 coming up. Give them 3rd and 17. Make it official. 4 wide receiver set here for Raines. He's going to scan the defense. Indians showing pressure. Trying to bring it across the edge, and I think they're going to get flagged for neutral zone infraction. That's exactly what it's going to be. Offsides on the Indians. So going to have to limit those mistakes. They're going to have success tonight against the Warriors.
Yeah, I think that was Anderson, number 2 there on the far side. You typically don't see a low number like that as playing as a D end, but a little too anxious right there getting off the ball, and it's going to make still a 3rd and long a little bit more manageable.
Brings it up to 3rd and 12 after the penalty. Same look here for the Warriors on offense. 4 wide receivers, 3 on the far side. And again, Raines will get them with a hard count. Indians are trying to jump the snap count to kind of get a head start breaking through that line. And once again, they'll get called for the penalty. Back-to-back offsides penalties for the Indians, and that will
Oh, no, I think they're going to take that false start. A little bit of
I saw a fan pointing the other way, and he was right.
Yeah, typically, I mean, especially when you know you're coming up and doing a hard count, these offensive linemen know they're trying to sell it just as much as the quarterback is. So a little bit of good graces and a little bit of forward momentum, even the slightest nudge can get that false start. So as soon as they get a gift, they give it right back.
So back where we started now here, 3rd and 17 at their own 27. Warriors come out again with 4 wide receivers. Indians once again showing pressure. There's the snap. Handoff, fumble.
Oh, what do
Warriors
you know?
are going to pick it up across the 30-yard line, and a big hit from behind there.
Goodness gracious.
Malachi Garrett with a heads-up play there on offense, able to pick up the ball that Rayshawn Gates fumbled.
Yeah, fortunate for EPC that when the ball popped out, as you see right here, it was, I think, Malachi Garrett that was the one that ended up coming up with it. But to his dismantle, he took a lick for it, as you said. Chris Ivey getting in there on the stop.
Special teams unit on here for EPC. And play is blown dead before it gets going. Another penalty marker out, thrown by the far side official, and he's motioning towards the Marktree Indians. Second penalty here on the Indians in just the first couple of minutes of tonight's ball game. EPC's had one as well.
Pre-game jitters, get them out this first possession, and then once Marktree takes over here with their first possession of the ball game, let's clean it up a little bit.
4th and 6, there's the snap. Another flag comes out, and they'll blow it dead. It's 4th and 6 right now. We'll see if this is going to be against the Indians or not. If it is against the Indians, nope, it'll be against the Warriors. I was going to say that'll be 4th and 1, and you could have a change in game plan here, but instead we're just trading 5-yard penalties back and forth here in the first 2 minutes of tonight's ball game.
You remember that old Gatorade commercial, anything you can do, I can do better? I think they're just trying to go tick for tat here. They haven't been able to do it with their offense, but the referees tonight show us that they brought their laundry with them.
Hopefully they keep those flags in their pockets here for the remainder of the game. Here we go, 4th and 11 now, inside 9 minutes. No flags yet. There's the punt. Return man will catch it inside the 40-yard line. And the Indians will come out on offense for the first time tonight, lined up at their own 38-yard line. We'll see if the Indians want to bring out Jack Brown to the quarterback position. Got moved there from wide receiver a couple of weeks back, and since then the Indians have had a little bit of spark in their offense. They had some early woes there in the first 3 games of the season. Got shut out by 2 opponents, Hazen and Walnut Ridge. And obviously neither one of those teams are anything to sneeze at, but looking a little bit better here with a couple more games underneath their belt. 21 points against Cross County and then 26 against McCrory last week. First down play, ball's taken out to about the 44-yard line, so it'll be 2nd and 6 coming up. Johnson on the carry.
Echoing what you were saying a second ago about this offense, when you get into the later stages of the season and you're 1-4 starting out, you start to look forward and you look to see who's going to be your key contributors next year. So that switch to quarterback is hopefully not only a spark for the offense, but you have to start developing him because he's more than likely going to be your starter for at least next year.
Man goes in motion to the far side. There's the snap. There's the pitch. Looks like the tailback wasn't ready for it. He got swallowed up in the backfield. Taken down at about the 35-yard line. A couple of EPC Warriors in there on that tackle. Hank Knapp, one of the Warriors, getting in there for the stop behind the line of scrimmage.
As you can see right there on the replay, he just came completely unattested there on the near side in. Absolutely blew up the play. Really had no opportunity for it to get started for Johnson.
So it's Eli McCrary that'll step up in the shotgun for the Indians. Waiting for the snap. Looking to throw. Takes a shot downfield. Got a man with a step on the defender. Brought down inside the 5-yard line. Taken down at the 2. But what a pass on 3rd down to move the Indians into the red zone. They've got it 1st and goal now at about the 2-yard line.
Man, you line it up, and you really, I mean, you can't expect anything different right there. Backyard pitch and catch. You see right here, just a simple 3-step drop, and gave one little pump fake there, but for the most part, it was just a blown coverage right there. And as you see, Chris Ivy just completely uncontested, ended up getting caught, but Indians are knocking on the door here, first possession of the game.
Will come out 2 wide receivers. McCrary with a tailback to his left. That's Jamaria Anderson standing to his left, and he'll get the handoff. Cuts up the middle. He's across the goal line. The Indians will take a 6-0 lead here with 7:12 left to play in the first quarter. That's the way you want to start a rivalry game.
Absolutely. For Mark Tree, you couldn't have drawn it up any better. I mean, you had those tick-for-tack penalties to sort of getting the pregame jitters out, but you get essentially a three and out for your defense, and then you come out and you're faced with a long third down, but nice little chunk down the field, 59-yard completion, basically headed up that drive, and they're able to knock it into the end zone.
A.J. Johnson with the extra point attempt. Looked like it went off the offensive line or somebody got a hand on it. It'll fall harmlessly to the grass, and the score will be 6-0 again. 7:12 left to play in the first quarter. The Indians lead the Warriors here on Tubetown, live local from Ritter Communications.
You live. We put you first. Introducing You First Banking, only at First National Bank.
Andy Maness, Ryan Shore back here with you at Mark Tree, where the Indians have started with a 6-0 lead over the EPC Warriors. 7:12 left to play here in the first quarter. It's a 2-yard touchdown rush from Jamaria Anderson that puts the Indians up by a touchdown. They missed the extra point, but not a bad way to open up this football game. 4 plays, you take it about 60 yards downfield, and it results, again, in a touchdown. There's a short kick. It'll be taken inside the 40. Taken down on the far sideline at about the 45-yard line, and some pretty good starting field position here for the Warriors for their second time out. They went 3 and out after trading back-to-back penalties. They're on 3rd and 4th down with the Mark Tree Indians, but they're going to try to come out and have a little bit more success here on their second drive of the game.
Yeah, don't expect that to be a common theme that we see tonight. They've shown week after week that they can successfully put 25, 30, 45 points on the board. So it may have been an instance where they came out and they got a little bit shot in the own foot, slow going, but don't expect that to keep up.
Yeah, they're outscoring opponents so far this year, 164 to 122. Yet to put up any points here tonight in the first quarter. Here's Gates trying to find the edge over there on the far sideline, and he can't find it. Instead, it's the Indians who will stop him for a loss. It'll now be 2nd and about 15 coming up. Take a look as the Indians are making short work of this offensive line for the Warriors so far through the first 2 possessions.
Yeah, that was Anderson once again that we've seen him. They got him for that offsides penalty on the first possession that EPC had. It was obviously on Mark Tree, but he's definitely king on that back, and anytime that he's taken off in motion, he's able to shoot up there and cause a little bit of disruption for EPC.
Wide receiver goes in motion. Handoff on the jet sweep across the 35-yard line. He's got an edge across the 50. Now across the far side, 40, pushed out of bounds here on the near sideline. It's a first down and more for the EPC Warriors. It's Andrew Heston on the jet sweep who will move the chains, and take a look as, again, he finds the edge here and follows his blockers. He's got a lot of running room.
Yeah, he just found that lane right there, was able to cut up inside for a good 23-yard gain, pushed out of bounds. I mean, he was fighting for every last yard right there, and just like we mentioned, EPC needed a little bit of a spark, and that may have been it right there, the shot in the leg they needed.
Third play of this drive here coming up. Started on their own 40. They've moved it down to the Indian 37. 6:21 remaining in the first. 3 wide receivers set here. Pitch out to Gates. Gates following his blockers. He'll be slung out of bounds on the far sideline. No, he didn't even make it to the out of bounds mark. I saw the referee keep waving the clock. But what a hit over there on first down.
That's one thing we take for advantage on these grass fields that we don't see very often. They plan these for drainage, but when we get to that far side of the field, you can't really tell where out of bounds is. It looks like a vicious throw out of bounds there, but he He just tackled him bounds. The clock's going to keep running.
Yeah, lost his helmet there and everything. What a hit by the Indians. 2nd and 5 coming up, 5:45 to play in the first. New back in the backfield alongside Preston Rains. They fake the jet sweep. Bouncing it out to the outside. Got the first down and more, and he's knocked out of bounds by a gang tackle, and there goes a late flag at the end of that one as Preston Rains makes his way to another Warrior first down.
I think that time the hit may have came just a little bit too late. I'm sure when they went over there that last time they warned Mark Tree of it, but that's something that you just can't allow to keep happening.
Well, let's take a look and see what the call is from the official. And it is going to be a face mask on the Indians. So not quite a late hit. Let's take a look at one more time at this option keeper here by Rains. Great move at the line of scrimmage to juke to the outside, and then shows his speed as well. Right there at the end, there you see the rip around there by, looks like J.J. Brown getting in there.
Love to see the hustle by Mark Tree, getting a lot of gold hats around the ball, but unfortunate face mask penalty there.
Fake the jet sweep, bounce out to the left with Gates. Gates cuts it up the field. He's across the 5-yard line, and he's down near the goal line. He might be in. Still no signal from the official, but there it is right there. He's stopped right at the 1-yard line, I believe. So now it'll be 1st and goal coming up here for EPC, and they moved it down the field real quick and in a hurry.
Yeah, keeping the ball on the ground, just doing what they know works for them, stretching the field. They're not only getting yardage, but they're also working both sidelines and getting a lot of distance out of it.
About 2 minutes gone by. This is the 6th play of this drive. It's a quick snap from Rains, and Rains is just going to keep it himself and take it across the goal line. He'll tie this one up at 6 with 5:02 left to play in the first quarter. Pretty simple play there. You just hand it off to your big quarterback and let him run it in.
Yeah, absolutely, and you love to see for EPC coming out and responding to that first drive where they were kind of spoiled 3 and out. We mentioned it earlier ago. This isn't an offense that we expect to hang up a goose egg, and of course they haven't already.
Looks like they're going to come out and attempt the 2-point conversion here to try to get a 2-point lead here in this ball game. There's the jet sweep. They're going to hand it off. Trying to find the pylon. He gets pushed out of bounds. Again, that was Andrew Harston looking for the goal line, and he couldn't find it. So we've got a tie ball game here, 6-6 between the Indians and the Warriors. This rivalry conference matchup all knotted up with 5:02 left to play here in the first quarter. You're watching it on Tubetown, live local from Ritter Communications.
You've got a lot of choices when you buy home furnishings. There are many reasons to choose Hubbard & Hoke Furniture, Blyville and Osceola.
At Hubbard & Hoke, you'll find a great selection of furniture, appliances, bedding, and electronics with outstanding service, 6 ways to finance your purchase, and free local delivery.
Plus, you'll get a great deal every day on name brands you know and trust.
Great deals, outstanding service, and free delivery. You're going to love
Hubbard & Hoke Furniture, Blyville and Osceola.
Andy Maness and Ryan Short welcome you back to Don Lovell Memorial Field here in Mark Tree, where the Indians and the East Poinsett County Warriors all tied up at 6 with 5:02 remaining here in the first quarter. It was Preston Rains rushing it in on a quarterback keeper from 1 yard out. They went for the 2-point conversion to try to take the lead, but could not get it. It was a jet sweep attempt from Andrew Harston, and that again results in this 6-6 stalemate we have so far here in the first quarter. That drive only took about 2 minutes off the clock, too, for the Indians. They took it the distance of 60 yards. Kickoff taken across the 20, 25-30, 35-40, and tackled from behind as it was Andrew Lung who was tiptoeing his way up through the special teams unit of the Warriors. Boy, he was on his tiptoes the whole way. It looked like just carving a path out before somebody finally caught him from behind.
Yeah,
it didn't look like he fully ever got up to his top speed.
No, he definitely was waiting to see if the hole would develop there, and basically just followed the return the play they had. You see him right here. He's just casually waiting for that hole to open up, and then right there he sort of hits the Jets, and he realizes he has a chance tackled from behind. But looks something that we may see later on in this game, as many kickoffs that we're going to see, letting those holes develop, and special teams can play a big part in this one.
And that was, beg your pardon, that was actually Jamaria Anderson there on that return for the Mark Tree Indians. It's a 1st and 10 carry this time. I believe Kylan Johnson on the carry. He's going to pick up about lost 4 yards on first down, so now 2nd and 6 coming up.
Coming out having a little bit of success on the ground. We know that last drive they had that 59-yard strike that set up that scoring play that we ended up seeing. But Mark Tree, they're coming out. Their record may not reflect it, but they're ready for a battle tonight.
2 wide receivers lined up on the far sideline. It's a high snap, and McCrary's got to chase it down. He's able to scoop it up, and instead of just falling on top of it, tried to just make something happen with it. Instead, he's driven back near the 15-yard line.
It's going to set him back about 20 yards. Unfortunately, there you see the snap just go right over his head, and you can tell he was sort of peeking over his shoulder to see if he could make anything happen out of that. And unfortunately, it just led to an awkward tackle for loss. Tough spot right here for Mark Tree.
Yeah, it looks like about 3rd and 25 is what they're going to mark it officially down on the field. 3:35 and counting left to play here in the first quarter. Indians will break the huddle, coming out with 2 wide receivers lined up on the far side, and it'll be Jamaria Anderson standing in the backfield, standing to the right of McCrary. He's looking to throw. Got to step up in the pocket, runs into his own lineman, dropped, lost the football. We'll see who comes up with it, and it's EPC who falls on top of it, and the Warriors are taking advantage of a turnover here with 3:14 left to play in the first quarter. Watch the hit here from behind. McCrary just trying to make something happen.
That ball just poor ball security right there. It leads to the ball coming out, and I mean that drive from Mark Tree just absolutely horrendous. You have the snap that went way over the head and then force you way back 3rd and 25. You're just hopefully getting it to your punt team to kick the ball away and flip field position just a little bit, even if they start at the 50. But right there, EPC already in the red zone.
We'll start on the Indian 17-yard line. Harston goes in motion. Raines looking to throw. Tosses it over the middle. It's incomplete. Intended receiver looked like he was trying to get it out to TJ Bush. And it's 2nd and 10 now coming up.
Simple crossing route right there. First attempted pass that we've seen tonight. And had a receiver downfield. Gave him the opportunity to make the play, but not able to reel it in.
Stops the clock with 3:09 left to play here in the first quarter. Again, all knotted up at 6. 3 wide receivers set here for Raines. Gates standing in the backfield to his right. He'll take the handoff, running to the left. Cuts up between the hash marks across the 15-yard line. He'll be dropped, it looks like, just shy of the 10 at about the 12-yard line. So it'll be 2nd and maybe 6 coming up here. Another pickup of about 4 for Rayshawn Gates. Pretty good average.
Yeah, they keep the ball on the ground the whole first drive, able to get it in the end zone and come out, obviously looking to swing the momentum a little bit. Try to take a pass that can potentially lead them to get in the end zone, and they're going back to their bread and butter now, putting it on the ground. 2
backs in the backfield. It's Harston and Gates. And the Indians are going to try to bring pressure here. And on 3rd down, another flag will come out. Mark Tree going to jump off sides. That's their 4th penalty here of the first quarter.
Absolutely shooting themselves in the foot. I mean, that's 30 yards racked up in penalties already, and if you take to count the 20-yard loss that they had with the snap over the quarterback's head, they're just – Mark Tree really needs to compose themselves right here. They came out and they looked good when they threw the ball in the air and was able to get those first 6 points on the board, but since then it's kind of sputtered out for them.
So that'll make it 3rd and inches now with 2:25 to play in the first quarter. They'll line up in the I formation now, a new look for the Warriors. It's going to be Raines just taking it himself across the first down marker. He's down inside the 10-yard line, pretty close to, it looks like, the 5. He might be inside the 5, but it'll be 1st and goal coming up either way for the EPC Warriors. Take another look at the replay. He just bullies his way in there.
Yeah, that's how they scored that touchdown on their last drive, and being able to control the line of scrimmage is something that they're going to hang their hat on this evening.
So 1st and goal from the 6 is where they're going to spot it. Clock continues to count down near the 2-minute mark here in the first quarter. 3 wide receivers, 2 backs in the backfield. There's the handoff to Harston. Harston hit hard as soon as he got the football. Great job by the Indians. I think that was Jamaria Anderson getting in there and taking out Harston's legs.
We called his name quite a few times, not already Anderson, as you see him shoot right here, basically uncontested from this end. And
yeah,
absolutely
watch
able to
number 2
disrupt
right
the
there.
whole
Woo.
play. That's something you have to imagine that was in Mark Tree's game plan as they come in, is they're going to line Anderson caddy corner to whoever their strong side is, and they're sending him off the corner every play, and so far it's worked.
2nd and goal now coming up. No gain on first down. Harston, they fake the jet sweep to him. It's Gates who takes the handoff to the left. He'll cut up, and he'll go across the goal line for another EPC touchdown. 1:15 remaining here in the first quarter, and it's a 6-yard touchdown rush that time from Rayshawn Gates. And watch him, as soon as he finds the corner, he just cuts it up right across the goal line.
Yeah, great block there on the outside by James Lard. He was able to seal that corner and be able to allow him to cut up right there. But EPC has so many moving parts to their offense, and it's, if you're not reading the right keys, it's going to lead to a Mark Tree defense that's just really going to be playing off their heels. And with the speed that EPC has, that's not going to fare well for them.
They're going to go for 2 once again here. They failed their first 2-point conversion. They're going to try to nail it this time, though. Looking to throw, passed out, incomplete. Trying to hit his wide receiver on an out route towards the far sideline, and he can't haul it in. So the score will be 12-6 with 1:15 remaining here in the first quarter after that 6-yard touchdown rush from Rayshawn Gates. We'll be back in a moment with more of the first quarter here on Tubetown, live local from Ritter Communications.
Life doesn't always go as planned. So when a power surge affects your TV, or a breakfast mishap takes out your laptop, Guardware multi-device protection gives you peace of mind, knowing your devices will be repaired or replaced with just one call and without breaking the bank. Protection you can trust. Guardware from Ritter. Enroll today to keep what matters most protected tomorrow.
It's a 6-yard touchdown rush from Rayshawn Gates that puts the EPC Warriors on top of the Mark Tree Indians here in the first quarter, 12-6 with 1:15 left to play before we head to the second. And right now, Mark Tree awaiting that kickoff after that touchdown from Gates. They went for 2 once again, Ryan, and once again they couldn't get it.
Yeah, and in front of a packed stadium here at Don Lovell Memorial Field, both EPC and Mark Tree fans came out in full force. They've standing room only basically across the fence as everybody's cheering on their teams.
Penalty on the kickoff, and it will be a re-kick for EPC. Must have had somebody run ahead of the kicker there, so a little false start. Just their 3rd penalty in the game compared to Mark Tree's 4.
It's been a fairly quick first quarter so far. Both teams have had successful drives and then some that have sputtered out. A lot of penalties that we've seen from both sides, but so far for a Friday night football game in Northeast Arkansas, you can't ask for much better competition that we've seen between these two teams.
Yeah, UPC is taking no time to score, really. Both of their drives. Their first one took 6 plays, about 2 minutes off the first quarter clock, and then the second drive, the last drive, was 5 plays, 17 yards. They didn't have far to go. Still took about 2 minutes off of the clock.
This could be dangerous right
Yep.
here.
Scooped it up off the turf across the 30, now across the 35-40 down the far sideline. One man left to beat with a spin move. He'll make it down across the far side 45 and be dropped at about the 42. Jamaria Anderson showing off his special team skills here tonight with some of his returns.
You can tell that Anderson, he just has that next gear, that whenever he sees that lane open up, that he hits the hole, and it's going to take a strong young man to bring him down in the instance where EPC is backed up 5 yards and they're trying to kick it as far down the field as they can, outkick their coverage a little bit, and just like that, Mark Tree's going to flip field position and be able to get this drive start off in their own territory.
Now they'll start on the Warrior 43-yard line. Come out 1st and 10. Fumbled on their last drive. We're going to try to avoid that here on this one. McCrary will send a man in motion. He's going to keep it himself. Rushes ahead across the 40-yard line down near the 35. They'll spot him at about the 36, but a nice little pickup there by the quarterback, Eli McCrary. It'll be 2nd and about 4 coming up.
Positive yardage on the first play from the line of scrimmage. always good, especially when you came out last drive and had a few little mishaps, and of course all of the penalties we've seen so far. So Mark Tree, I mean, obviously we can talk about the lack of personnel that both these teams have, but keeping the ball on the ground and keeping these legs fresh is something that we're going to see throughout the ball game tonight.
Yeah, and that gives you a little bit more confidence as a quarterback, too, with a nice little carry on first down after fumbling it your last time out. 2 wide receivers lined up on the far side here for McCrary. It's a low snap, but he gets it to his tailback across the 35-yard line down to the 30. It's Johnson on the carry. I believe he's got the first down yardage he needs. Had to get to the 33, and it looks like the referees are going to spot him down at the 30. So he keeps his legs churning, and he'll move the sticks for the Mark Tree Indians. Got a little bit of momentum working for them right now, do the Indians.
Mark Tree faithful on this side, definitely pulling for the teams that had the newspaper out with the homecoming flyer before tonight's game.
And before they can get the snap off here on 1st and 10, the first quarter will come to an end. So we're headed to the second quarter, 12-6 in a tight ball game. East Poinsett County has a 6-point lead over the Mark Tree Indians in this conference rivalry. We're back with more here on Tubetown, live, local from Ritter Communications.
How much bandwidth will satisfy your home's hunger? The average household now has more wireless devices in use a day than ever before, including TVs, laptops, tablets, and smartphones. HD streaming and gaming can use large amounts of data and slow down speeds for other users. The more devices you use, the more bandwidth your home needs. So make sure you have enough bandwidth. Get up to 100 megs with internet from Ritter Communications. It's the speed you need to power all your devices. Call today.
Andy Manus and Ryan Short back here in the to start the second quarter between the Mark Tree Indians and the East Poinsett County Warriors. EPC with a 6-point lead over the Indians after the first 12 minutes. Saw a lot of ground game from both teams. Of course, Mark Tree had that one big pass back in the first quarter that set up a 1-yard touchdown rush, or excuse me, a 2-yard touchdown rush. But right now, they're trying to move it down the field. They are on a march, a 2-play march that has set them up in EPC territory. 2 wide receivers here on 1st and 10 from on the 30-yard line. A new quarterback in the game. It's Jack Brown. He's going to take a shot downfield, overthrew everybody, and it'll be 2nd and 10 now coming up. Maybe trying to catch EPC off guard a little bit there as Jack Brown attempts his first pass of the game.
Yeah, a little bit of personnel switch coming in. Hoping to get the passing through the air, light a fire under their offense a little bit. You can call that play on 1st and 10 because you've obviously had success on the ball on the ground so far. So I don't mind that that shot down the field right there on 1st down.
Jack Brown will stay in at quarterback. McCrary lined up at wide receiver on the far sideline. Anderson in the backfield. There's a snap. Anderson's going to take the handoff. Scratch that. That's Johnson. He's across the 30, down across the 25. Down near the 20-yard line, and that's Kylan Johnson again on the carry for the Indians. And he will get close to the first down marker, but no cigar. It'll be 3rd and short coming up. Take another look at the replay as he, again, finds the hole he's supposed to hit and just keeps his legs moving.
Yeah, I think if he would have followed his blockers around the outside right there, he had a nice little convoy of blockers that cut up, or actually released outside. So if he would have continued his blockers there, he may have had a little bit more success on the play. But definitely 3rd and manageable right here for the Indians.
2 wide receiver set. Brown takes the snap, hands it off to Anderson. Anderson running to his left, avoids 3 tacklers in the backfield before one of the initial tacklers will hawk him down. But that's a first down. They'll move it across the 35, excuse me, across the 20-yard line, and it'll be 1st and 10. No. Well,
I'm not sure. They're going to take a look at this. This is awfully close.
Where the referee is on the far sideline, looks like they should move the chains, but it'll be 4th and short.
I imagine that Mark Tree is going to keep their offense on the field right now and attempt to pick up this yardage. Not really any other option for the Indians.
McCrary will again go out to wide receiver. Jack Brown stays in at quarterback. Anderson to his right. They've got a tight end lined up here on the near side of the offensive line. Jack Brown's going to take it himself. Trying to find the corner, dragging one defender. He just reaches out, using that body length of his to get a first down. They're across the 20-yard line. down at about the 18.
Yeah, nothing too complicated here. Just catch the ball and run it right with the length that Brown has. I think he could have just stretched out from the line of scrimmage and possibly got that first down, but it keeps the drive alive for the Indians, and now they're officially into the red zone.
Now, 7th play of this drive coming up. Lasted about 3 minutes so far. 1st and 10 from the Warrior 18-yard line. McCrary going to line up at wide out here on the near side. Anderson still in the backfield. They hand it off to Anderson, running to his left, trying to find the corner over there. He cuts upfield before he slips, loses his balance, but he'll still pick up a good maybe 3 yards on that first down carry. 2nd and 7 coming up.
You can see Anderson here, just a lot of momentum downhill, and his arm tackles are not going to bring him down. He may be short in stature, but he is running with a lot of finesse right now.
So again, 2nd and 8 coming up now. 12 seconds left on the play clock. 9:40 left to play here in the half. Both teams still have all of their timeouts here in the first half.
Play clock's down to 3.
Yeah, Indians break the huddle in a hurry. Going to try to snap this one. They get it away. Brown going to take it himself, spinning at the line of scrimmage. He'll pick up, it looks to be about 2 yards there on 2nd down, so now 3rd and 6 coming up. Boy, they had to get that snap off in a hurry.
Yeah, they're having a little bit of trouble here on the near side getting the play call in to, you know, they've had 2 quarterbacks in the game already, so making sure those plays are called efficiently at the line is causing a little bit of disruption.
McCrary's going to.
I believe McCrary is actually calling the plays in the huddle, and then when they break, it just who's going to come up and line up at quarterback.
That's exactly what happens. You see him come and breaks the huddle now. 2 seconds left on the play clock, and they didn't nearly break that huddle in time. So they're going to have to burn their first time out of the first half. 8:52 remaining here in the first 2 quarters. 12-6 is your score. EPC leading the Marktree Indians here on Tubetown. Live local from Ritter Communications.
No matter what kind of business you own or operate, you need to keep it connected. Ritter Communications delivers the fastest business internet speeds available at a price that won't slow you down. Ritter offers reliable 24-hour service with network monitoring, along with the scalable options your business needs to grow. And we do it all on our own fiber optic network. The choice is yours, and so is the savings. Connect to something better. Call or visit ritterbusiness.com today.
Andy Manus, Ryan Short back here with you at Don Lovell Memorial Field. Here on the campus of Marktree High School. The Indians have the football right now with 8:52 remaining in the first half, but they're trailing 12-6 to their nemesis from right down the road in Lepanto. The EPC Warriors have it 12-6 lead right now in the first half. A couple of touchdowns in the first quarter from their rushing attack. Marktree was able to put their opening drive of the game into the end zone, and they're trying to replicate that success now here. 3rd and 8 after the timeout. Jack Brown looking to throw. Pats it, fires it, and it is nearly caught but slapped out of his hands by Andrew Harston. Boy, his receiver had that one hauled in, but Andrew Harston comes in at the last moment and just swats it out. Israel Malone, the intended receiver.
That's something they coach the kids up all year, is whenever that pass is coming to you, need to attack the ball. He was already thinking about cutting upfield to see if there was a defender that was going to be coming from behind him to tackle him, but unfortunately just not able to reel it in. Now, we've seen this already once. Last it was 4th and manageable. Now it's 4th and 8, so I'll be curious to see what Marktree tries to drum up here.
Let's see if they try to get them with a hard count here on 4th and 6. If they can draw EPC off sides, it might be 4th and 1, and there's a lot of movement there.
I think
the ball is snapped. There's no flags. I think everybody was expecting a flag, but there wasn't one.
No, I think they were going out and they were expecting the hard count. Everybody was on the same page except for the center. You could see that as soon as that ball was snapped, Brown was sort of caught off guard a little bit, that it ended up right in his lap. So he just had to improvise, and it's going to be a turnover on downs, unfortunately, for the Indians.
Yeah, had a lot of momentum, worked the ball all the way down into Warrior territory after the great kick return from Jamaria Anderson. And you hate to see that drive end that way. With 8:40 left to play in the second quarter, EPC's going to get it back. They're going to get a chance to extend this lead over their rival. And, you know, they're playing with a little bit of a chip on their shoulders. They lost this one in a 38-0 shutout last year against Mark Tree.
Yeah, absolutely.
Raines with two backs in the backfield. He's looking to throw. Now he rolls out to his right, looking to throw over the middle. Bounces off a defender. Now he's going to tuck it and run to the near sideline. Jukes one man. He's across the 20, across the 25-yard line. Lowers his shoulder, and he's all the way down to the 38. What a run from Preston Raines. He ran to the right side of the field and cut it back and got a big gain running to his left.
That's called making something out of nothing. You can see they were trying to set up the bubble screen on the far side, and the receiver wasn't on the same page. So as soon as he ran down the field, he just sort of had to improvise. Fortunately, he was able to pick up a block right there by, I believe that was Harston that led the block for him, but Raines was able to pick up a solid 16 yards and a first down for EPC.
We saw J.J. Brown standing in front of him, too, and just decided to lower his shoulder and run into him. There's Gates on the handoff on 1st and 10, running to his right, tried to cut up the middle. And
oh, what was that?
It looked like he was trying to kick himself up there.
Yeah, he was trying to, and I would have been very impressed if that would have happened, but just falls a tad bit short on that one.
I don't even know what to say. I can't talk right now. That was maybe one of the funniest things I think I've ever seen happen in a football game.
Oh, man.
Oh, my
goodness. It's a whole lot different whenever you've got a helmet and shoulder pads on. I'll say that
a little bit heavier.
He's done that on the playground.
I guarantee you he has.
He's impressed some people doing that before, but that time it just didn't pan out.
Didn't work out for him. 2nd and 7 coming up here, but inside 7:45 left to play in the half. Gates standing to the right of Raines. Raines looking to throw. It's a little bubble screen on the far sideline that looked like it would have went for a pretty big gain there, but wide receiver Deuce Moore couldn't haul it in.
Yeah, just went right through his hands right here. You can sort of see whenever the ball was coming, he was already looking upfield, trying to scope out where he was going to go. As we've seen already tonight, McCrary's playing on both sides of the ball. We've seen him at quarterback and wide receiver, but he was waiting right there in anticipation for that bubble screen.
He was still about 10 yards off the wide receiver, though, so he would have had to cover some ground. 3rd and 7 now coming up. 7:35 left to play in the quarter. Raines is under center, and I think the Warriors are going to jump off sides. They are.
Now it's going to be 3rd and about 13 for EPC. Just a little bit of movement right there on the offensive line. I think that was on the far side. Tight end was jumping off sides a little bit.
Let's see if we see Raines back under center here. He might have just been going for the hard count there, but I think that's what was going on. Trips lined up here on the near side, or on the far side rather, and Raines is now looking to throw, rolling out to his right. Takes a shot downfield. Oh, and the wide receiver wasn't even looking for the football. Andrew Harston had a step on his man, and if he had just looked up, that could have been 6.
You know he's really regretting that right now. Raines blitz coming up the middle. He's able to evade it with the rollout to the right, but he's going to take a lick at the end of this play. Ball's up in the air. Receiver had his man beat.
That was
unfortunately Harston wasn't able to turn around and locate the ball.
Yeah, I think if he had his eyes on the ball, it was a little bit out in front of him, but he probably has the speed to catch up to that one.
Yeah.
So now 4th and long, the Warriors punt team will come out.
You can only imagine that false start penalty really hurt them right there. We saw them come out in the I formation, and as soon as they backed them up to 3rd and 12, they went with the shotgun.
Hank Knapp, the punter, nearly had that one blocked, but he gets it away. It's Jack Brown on the return. He's slung down across the 40-yard line by a couple of Warriors, and now Mark Tree rather, has pretty decent field position here to start this drive.
Yeah, good defensive stand right there by Mark Tree, being able to come out, and they had a one penalty go in their favor, but being able to flip the ball back into their offense's hand. They had success on the last drive. It just kind of sputtered out towards the end, so let's see if they can build off that progress they had and try to get more points on the board.
Yeah, UPC's leaving the door open here for Mark Tree to tie this one up in the first half, and Mark Tree will also get the football back to start the second half. Jack Brown still in at quarterback, 3 wide receivers. There's a handoff to Anderson. Anderson across the 45, across the 50, taken down from behind at the far side 45-yard line, but he's got more than enough for an Indian first down. About a 15-yard pickup that time from Jamari Anderson, and watch him just find the gap and follow his blockers.
We've talked about his stature a little bit. He's a short little squirrely guy that he's able to cut and juke and jive through those holes. And in a lot of instances, you see a lot of receivers and backs, I mean, at the college and even the pro level, that their size actually ends up being in their favor because you're at the second level before anybody can even spot you where you're at.
Yeah, you're hard to find when you're moving through those big bodies. That time the Warriors find him and didn't quite bring him down, but I guess they're going to stop his forward progress there as the play kind of died right there behind the line of scrimmage. Second and looks to be a long 10 coming up, no gain.
I think he believes he was on the back.
Oh, there's the knee touched right there.
A little bit. He's going to run until he hears the whistle, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was kind of a late whistle there. 6:28 left to play here in the second quarter. Second and 10 coming up.
Interesting to see that McCrary is still calling the plays at the huddle, but coming up, Brown has been the one that's taking all the shots at quarterback.
Well, and that could just be all about communication in the huddle. Two wide receivers on the far side. Brown looking to throw. He's getting drugged down by his jersey in the backfield, just staying on his feet. But it's finally Tyshawn Garrett on the tackle there.
I think that was the slowest sack that I've ever seen. It took him 5 or 6 minutes before it's like almost watching a Life Alert commercial where they just slowly go to the ground.
3rd and 15 now coming up. Make that 3rd and 25 now coming up. I forgot about that extra 10 yards he just lost there.
Hey, if it was only 3rd and 15, I'm sure they'd be fine.
They'd be all right with it. Would definitely trade it for where they're at now. Referees haven't even started the play clock yet. There we go. 6:02 and counting left to play. 3 wide receivers here for Brown with Anderson standing in the backfield. Sends a man in motion. Hands off on the jet sweep. Not a sweep. He just stopped right in his tracks and cut it right up between the hash marks. Down across the 45-yard line. And a pickup of about 5 yards there on 3rd down, and it'll be 4th and very long still to go. Take another look. Watch the wide receiver. He just stops, doesn't continue to go to the outside, and just cuts it upfield.
Yeah, I mean, I think he noticed where all those white hats were heading. They were going to force him out of bounds, so cutting it up right there may have been his best bet to try to get at least some chunk of yards back, but unfortunately only goes for about 5.
Orlando Harper is on to punt now for the Marktree Indians. This is just the first time they've had to punt here tonight. They've had a fumble and a turnover on downs, and now we've got a penalty, which will stop this one before it gets started, and it's going to be against the EPC Warriors. Looks like it'll be another offsides penalty.
So if we can see that back on replay, you can see the long snapper. He sort of has a little bit of forward momentum to get the ball out. And he sort of leans forward and then has to get his body behind the snap going back, but it led to, look here, that's going to be the previous play.
A little bit of technical difficulties. We'll be all right. Rayshawn Gates standing back at his own 20-yard line, waiting this punt from Orlando Harper. Harper gets it up, short punt, but it's a high kick, and it'll take an Indian bounce down to about the 25-yard line.
EPC is going to have plenty of time on the clock right here to make some type of drive happen before the halftime.
Right, caps off a 5-play drive for the Marktree Indians. Took about 2 minutes off of the clock. That's kind of been the average here tonight. That was about 2 minutes, 10 seconds. EPC comes out 1st and 10. They've had to punt it away twice tonight. They're going to try to put it in the end zone here before the end of the half.
They have 3 attempted passes so far, and they've all fallen incomplete. Let's see if they try to put the ball in the air in here on this drive.
It's like the ball spotted at the 26-yard line, an option play, and it's going to go to Gates. Gates running to his right now, running to his left. He's still on his feet, bouncing off of defenders like a pinball. Got plenty of room in front of him across the 50-yard line, down across the 45, and he's drung out of bounds at the 40-yard line, and he is thrown out by his face mask. So going to tack on some penalty yardage at the end of this one. But watch him take off running to his right, has nowhere to go, and so just bounces back the other direction. And I don't know how many defenders he bounced off of. He got face masked back here in the backfield as well.
Good 28-yard pickup. I mean, we said it all night, just improvising, making something happen. As you see right here, he goes down by his face mask. They're going to end up waving that flag off, saying that wasn't a face mask, even though he was drugged down by his helmet.
Well, the referees missed 2 of them on that play, if that's the case. Also, what awareness. Did you see him at the end of that run switch carrying hands? He was carrying it with his right hand, had the defenders on his right side, and had the awareness to just switch it over to the left. That's good good awareness by the tailback.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good football IQ there. 2 backs in the backfield. They're going to block for Raines as he throws. Just tosses that one over the head of his defender, and it'll go out of bounds. I don't think it would have been inbounds even if he had caught it.
No, they're trying to get a double move route on the far side, a little out and up, and the Indians sort of have a guy back there sort of playing center field, not letting anything like that happen. So he saw the ball as soon as it was released, and I'm sure if that ball would have landed inbounds, it probably would have been an interception.
Well, and that's McCrary too back there playing center field, as you say. So as a quarterback, you have a little bit of knowledge, I think, as far as what the other team's going to do when you're out there playing secondary. You often see a lot of quarterbacks that play 2 ways. You see them put in at the safety or corner position. 2nd and 10, it's a pitch out to Gates. Gates jukes a man in the backfield. He won't get back to the line of scrimmage, though. He's drugged down in the backfield for a loss. It'll be 3rd and about 13 coming up. Great stand there by the Indian defense.
Yeah, we're going to say Anderson's name one more time. He's lining up on the strong side every time, and whenever that ball is snapped, he is just darting forward, and he's disrupting every play that happens. You see him blow past the end there, and he makes first contact 6-7 yards in the backfield. So EPC is fortunate they were able to fall forward and only be a loss of 3.
Number 2 in blue and gold is getting through that line of scrimmage both ways tonight, doing it on offense and on defense. Here he is again with a big hit on the quarterback. He lost the football, and the Indians are going to come up with it. Johnny on the spot, Jamaria Anderson.
Golly, completely untouched on that far side. Absolutely rocked EPCs. You see him here. No one even accounts for him. Looking down the field is going to be Raines, and he doesn't see it coming at all. Falling on the ball right there for Mark Tree. I didn't catch his number. I believe that may have been Gates that came up with it. But just like that, we're talking about a big play from scrimmage for EPC, and then all of a sudden now the script is completely flipped. And Mark Tree's going to try to tie this ball game up before they go to half.
That can give you a lot of momentum, especially as many players as you have playing both ways. You know they're hyped after that big hit.
Anderson's going to come off the field for a second to catch a breather, but I'm sure he'll be back out there before this drive's over.
Now here's Johnson on the carry, running to his right. He's going to pick up about 2 yards on first down, so 2nd and 8 coming up.
God, that was a huge hit.
What
right
a hit, man. Hit him so hard the referee had to stop and tie his shoes. Take another look at this replay. Untouched. Quarterback never saw him, and that was a great form tackle as well.
Exactly. That's something we need to harp on right here is that fundamentally, I mean, he hit him right in the chest, and he drove him to the ground.
2nd and 8 coming up. 10 seconds left on the play clock as the Indians break the huddle. It's Jack Brown in at quarterback. McCrary lined up here on the near side. Oh, that's not McCrary, but they're going to throw to him here on the near side. Got a step on his defender. Incomplete. Both the wide receiver and the defender had that one as they were falling out of bounds, fighting for it. It wouldn't have mattered if anybody came up with it because it was out of play.
Good throw down the field right here. Gave his receiver a little bit underthrown, but gave him an opportunity to catch it. Right on cue, coming back into the game is going to be Anderson, where it's 3rd and 8. And let's see what the Indians try to formulate right here. Also coming back on the field is McCrary, so they're going to have all their offensive weapons on the field for this 3rd and 8.
3:02 to play in the half. The Indians trail by a touchdown. 12-6 is the score. Got to get it down inside the 40-yard line at about the 36. There's the handoff to Anderson. Running to his left. He'll cut up between the hash marks. Lost the football. See who comes up with it here. Mark Tree's going to get it back.
Like he's able to fall right back on top of it.
Yeah, but it will be 4th down coming up here for Mark Tree. They're going to have to convert once again. Take another look at Anderson. Just cuts up between the hash marks and lost it here. I think Harston is the one who got in there and punched that one out.
You can tell EPC, though, is causing a lot of disruption on the defensive front. Each time that Anderson has got the ball in the backfield like that, you can tell that he's running like his back's on fire because he can feel the pressure from those interior defensive linemen coming up the middle. And so far for Mark Tree, they've been able to get positive yards, but right there caused a little bit of disruption.
4th and 5, here we go. Jack Brown with Anderson standing to his right. 2 wide receivers and a tight end. And flags come out as the play clock, I believe, has hit 0. We're going to have a delay of game here on Mark Tree. Don't want to have that happen. You got to have awareness from your quarterback, and right there they did not have it.
No, I think that's just a huge opportunity missed right there, not only for the quarterback, for Coach Waylon Dunn as well. I mean, you have to be aware right there of where the play clock's at, especially if you're going to come to the line and try a hard count to get the first down.
Yeah, so that'll back them up. It'll be now 4th and 10 coming up. Ball spotted at the 46-yard line. Make it the 47-yard line. It'll be Orlando Harper standing at his own 40, ready to punt. And it'll be Rayshawn Gates standing at about his own 16, ready to return. There's the snap. Harston rushes the punter, nearly got his hands on it, and it'll go out to Gates. Gates thought about scooping that one up as it bounces inside the 20-yard line down at about the 15. I don't know how Harston got so close to getting that ball without hitting Harper.
No idea. It came out like a knuckleball as it sort of moved down the field, so I thought somebody may have got a hand on it, but I think it was just a little bit of frantic behavior trying to get it out because that was awfully close right there to being a blocked punt.
Yeah, Harston got awful close. And so we're going to have a timeout on the field with 2:07 to play here in the second quarter. I believe it's a timeout from the Mark Tree Indians. We're going to step aside along with them. 12-6 is your score here in the first half between Mark Tree and EPC. We're back to finish up this half right after this on Tubetown, live local from Ritter Communications.
911, what's your emergency?
I'm home alone. Someone is trying to get in the back door.
Find a safe place like in a closet or under a bed, okay?
Okay.
Be very quiet and don't worry. Your home phone gave me your location.
Hurry.
Help is on the way.
Only a dedicated home phone can quickly pinpoint your address for emergency personnel. Cell phones can't. Keep your loved ones safe for less than 60 cents a day with a home phone from Ritter. Call today or go to rittercommunications.com.
Andy Maness and Ryan Short back here in Mark Tree, where the Indians still trail the EPC Warriors 6-12 with 2:07 left to play here in the second quarter. EPC going to have it on their own 16-yard line after that timeout, and a nice little punt from Orlando Harper.
You could see the EPC faithful there that made the trip all the way to Mark Tree to watch this game, and it's a hot October night here in Northeast Arkansas.
And we've been flirting with fall-like temperatures for the last couple of weeks, but summer has decided to stick around for at least a couple of weeks. Definitely feeling it here tonight in Mark Tree. 4 wide receivers for Raines. He's going to fake the option to Gates, keep it himself, running to his left. He'll get it down near the 20-yard line. He'll pick up about 2 yards, make it 3 on that first down carry. 2nd and 7 coming up now for the Warriors.
Going to really tell right here what the mindset of EPC is before they go into the half. They've got a 6-point lead, but so far they've attempted 4 passes tonight. All of them have fallen incomplete. So if you're trying to get 6 more points on the board, got to keep an eye on the clock as it dips under a minute and a half in the first half.
2 wide receivers on either side for Raines. Gates standing to his left. Raines is going to throw to his right. Out of the flats, it's Harston. Harston is dropped near the far sideline, doesn't get out, so the clock won't stop. It'll keep running with about 1:20 left to play in the half, and it'll be 3rd and short coming up here for the Warriors. Make it about 3rd and 3.
I think he just lost his balance there on the far side. He was trying to get out of bounds, but trying to put on the brakes and lost his footing.
Well, EPC still has all 3 of their timeouts, so they can stop the clock if they wish. Here's Raines under center. He's going to rush ahead, and oh, speak of the devil, timeout called here by EPC. So they now have 2 remaining here in the first half. With 55 seconds remaining, Mark Tree still has 1 of theirs. It is a tight ball game here as we end the second quarter. 12-6 is your score. EPC still with a lead over Mark Tree. We're back with more of the second quarter right after this on Tubetown.
Introducing Ritter Home Security. Ritter takes care of protecting what's most important to you, from threats like unwelcome visitors and fire, to making your life easier by putting the control of your home at your fingertips. Use the free app to shut the garage, lock the door, turn off lights, arm the system, and more. You can even turn back the thermostat to help save money on your energy bill. Plus, get a snapshot when your kids get home. It's smart, beautiful, convenient, and ready for your busy life. Ritter Home Security.
Andy Manus and Ryan Short back here with you. Late in the second quarter, 12-6, EPC leading Mark Tree with 55 seconds remaining. It's a 3rd and 3 coming up for EPC. Got the ball on their own 24-yard line. It's an empty backfield for Preston Rains. Haven't seen this look yet. They're going to throw it to the slot man over the middle, and once again, Harston wasn't looking. Second time tonight they've tried to hit Harston, and he wasn't even looking for the football.
Wow, he raises his hands up, shrugging his shoulders. That almost hit him in the back of the head. If he would have turned around right then, he would have had it. You got a good angle at it right here.
I think that's a miscommunication. He was looking to run an out route. Should have been running an in route there.
Yeah, if he would have just got past where he needed to be for the first down and planted himself right there, it would have been a first down and easy completion.
Yeah, slant out versus a slant in. Should have been running that slant in route. 4th and 3 coming up. EPC, how about this? Going to keep their offense out on the field, going to go for it here. Or could just be looking for a hard count, try to draw the Indians off sides. We'll see what they do. Well, the play clock is down at 0, and out comes a flag, so it'll be delay a game. So they'll back it up 5 yards. It'll now be 4th and 8, and you see some new personnel running onto the field there for EPC. Kind of changes up the game plan a little bit.
Yeah, they're going to send Brown back for Mark Tree to return this punt right now. Mark Tree's going to call a timeout.
Yep, they burned their final one of the first half. We'll go ahead and step aside one more time with you. Again, late in the second quarter, 51 seconds remaining. It is 12-6 EPC leading Mark Tree here on Tubetown. Live local from Ritter Communications.
Until you've seen how fast it really is, some people's reaction to Ritter's 100 megabit internet might be like, 100 mega, huh? Here's how we describe it. Mega beautiful, mega fast, mega blast, mega party, mega Ritter. There's no end to your online possibilities with up to 100 meg internet speeds. In a word, that means mega fun. If you're not getting your high-speed internet from Ritter, you should. Call 888-336-4466 today. Only from Ritter Communications, right by you.
I'd like to remind you that tonight's game is brought to you by our great sponsors, First National Bank, Hubbard and Hoke Furniture, and our newest sponsor, SSR Insulation, LLC. Could not do it without these great sponsors. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you say thank you to them as well. Hello again. Thanks for joining us here on Tubetown tonight on this Friday night. Mark Tree, Andy Manus, and Ryan Short here with you. 51 seconds remaining in the second quarter. It's a 12-6 lead for the EPC Warriors over the Mark Tree Indians, and EPC is getting ready to punt this one away on 4th and 8. Ball spotted on their own 19-yard line.
We got Brown back to receive from Mark Tree, and Anderson's right up at the line of scrimmage.
They rush it, but they can't get to it. A nice punt. Brown's going to catch it, tripped up immediately before he can even take a step. Great job that time by T.J. Bush with the open field tackle. And now Bush and Brown kind of having some words with each other.
We got an official timeout on the field. I think that is Anderson that is down. He started on the near side of the field, and he was going to try and block the punt. And I didn't catch what happened, but I believe that's him that's on the turf right now.
I think you're right indeed. So they will take a timeout here with 46 seconds remaining here in the first half, and looks like Anderson's going to get up and make his own way off the field, so we'll keep it right here. Again, 46 seconds remaining. It'll be Mark Tree football. Remember, the offense gets out on the field, and interesting to see what they're going to do here without Jamaria Anderson. He has been the workhorse tonight for that offense, and the majority of the big plays that they've had have been either set up by him or created by him.
Yeah, we saw last drive he had that huge sack on the quarterback, and he stayed on the sidelines for the first 2 plays from line of scrimmage for Mark Tree, and then he came out on, I believe it was a 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 9, and at that point the drive was basically spoiled. So it looks like they're going to go to the line of scrimmage right now without one of their most influential members on offense.
Brown back in the shotgun formation, and it'll be Kylan Johnson standing to his right. McCrary's lined up on the far sideline, and it'll be a keeper here for Brown. Brown just muscling his way through the offensive line, and we've got a flag thrown down back at the 50-yard line after that 4-yard pickup by Jack Brown. Should be 2nd and 6, but I would imagine, Ryan, that this penalty is going to bring it back because of a hold.
Yeah, I believe the area that was thrown in, they're going to end up backing them up. Yep, it's going to be a hold.
Holding against Moultrie.
So they will back it up from the spot of the foul, which was all the way back at about the 50-yard line.
Man. Field position tonight has been pretty standard. They've all started around between the 35s at least, it seems like, for their starting field position. But once you tack on a couple penalties, it backs you up quite a bit, and it seems a whole lot longer to go.
And they have no time to do it either. No timeouts left. 35 seconds remaining. Brown again will take the handoff. He's just working his way across the line of scrimmage back to the 50-yard line, stretching out. And that will keep the clock running with 23 seconds to play in the half. They don't have to run another play before they head to the locker room, so let's see what they want to do. Jamari Anderson is back in, and they're just going to let the game clock tick down, it appears.
Yeah, they're not going to have enough time to get this one off. That's
Yep.
how they're going to end it.
They'll just let the clock run down to 0, and Mark Tree will come back out. They'll have the football first to start the third quarter. Both teams going to head to the locker room for now with a score of 12-6. East Poinsett County with a touchdown lead over their rival from right down the road, the Mark Tree Indians. We're going to take a quick timeout, come back with some halftime stats for you, as well as talk about some of the other games going on tonight around the area. That's all part of the Ritter Communications halftime show coming up next here on Tubetown, live local from Ritter Communications.
You live. We put you first. Introducing You First Banking, only at First National Bank.
You've got a lot of choices when you buy home furnishings. There are many reasons to choose Hubbard & Hope Furniture, Blytheville and Osceola.
At Hubbard & Hope, you'll find a great selection of furniture, appliances, bedding, and electronics with outstanding service, 6 ways to finance your purchase, and free local delivery.
Plus, you'll get a great deal every day on name brands you know and trust.
Great deals, outstanding service, and free delivery. You're going to love
Hubbard & Hope Furniture, Blytheville and Osceola.
Life doesn't always go as planned. So when a power surge affects your TV, or a breakfast mishap takes out your laptop, Guardware multi-device protection gives you peace of mind, knowing your devices will be repaired or replaced with just one call, and without breaking the bank. Protection you can trust. Guardware from Ritter. Enroll today to keep what matters most protected tomorrow.
How much bandwidth will satisfy your home's hunger? The average household now has more wireless devices in use a day than ever before, including TVs, laptops, tablets, and smartphones. HD streaming and gaming can use large amounts of data and slow down speeds for other users. The more devices you use, the more bandwidth your home needs. So make sure you have enough bandwidth. Get up to 100 megs with internet from Ritter Communications. It's the speed you need to power all your devices. Call today.
No matter what kind of business you own or operate, you need to keep it connected. Ritter Communications delivers the fastest business internet speeds available at a price that won't slow you down. Ritter offers reliable 24-hour service with network monitoring, along with the scalable options your business needs to grow. And we do it all on our own fiber optic network. The choice is yours, and so is the savings. Connect to something better. Call or visit ritterbusiness.com today.
911, what's your emergency?
I'm home alone. Someone is trying to get in the back door.
Find a safe place like in a closet or under a bed, okay?
Okay.
Be very quiet and don't worry. Your home phone gave me your location.
Hurry.
Help is on the way.
Only a dedicated home phone can quickly pinpoint your address for emergency personnel. Cell phones can't. Keep your loved ones safe for less than 60 cents a day with a home phone from Ritter. Call today or go to rittercommunications.com.
Introducing Ritter Home Security. Ritter takes care of protecting what's most important to you, from threats like unwelcome visitors and fire, to making your life easier by putting the control of your home at your fingertips. Use the free app to shut the garage, lock the door, turn off lights, arm the system, and more. You can even turn back the thermostat to help save money on your energy bill. Plus, get a snapshot when your kids get home. It's smart, beautiful, convenient, and ready for your busy life. Ritter Home Security.
Until you've seen how fast it really is, some people's reaction to Ritter's 100 megabit internet might be like, 100 mega, huh? Here's how we describe it. Mega beautiful, mega fast, mega blast, mega party, mega Ritter. There's no end to your online possibilities with up to 100 meg internet speeds. In a word, that means mega fun. If you're not getting your high-speed internet from Ritter, you should. Call 888-336-4466 today. Only from Ritter Communications, right by you.
For your smartphones, tablets, phablets. For the browsers you carry in your trousers. Wowzers! For your big screens and small screens, short screens and tall screens, get speed that screams. From the top of your desk to the palm of your hand, it's the fastest internet speed in the land.
There's no end to your online possibilities with up to 100 meg internet speeds. If you're not getting your internet from Ritter, you should. Call 888-336-4466 today. Ritter Communications, right by you.
High-speed internet for every grown-up, grandparent, kid, teen, and in between. Ritter's got it. Every JPEG, MPEG, and GIF for the working mom or the working stiff, loaded in a GIF. Whether you're a blogger, gamer, or pixel tamer, don't be a slow-speed blamer. Don't waste your time waiting to load that page. Get Ritter high-speed internet. It's all the rage.
There's no end to your online possibilities with up to 100 meg internet speeds. Only from Ritter Communications, right by you.
You work here, you play here, you live here, and yet most of what you watch on television is about somewhere other than here. Until now, we proudly present Tubetown, TV about you. Tubetown is a Ritter Communications exclusive network featuring local sports, community events, unique and original programming from our community. Tubetown takes what's best about television, what's best about the community, and brings them together. Tubetown, only from Ritter Communications, right by you.
Technology was supposed to make our lives easier. No one told us about the plethora of glitches, viruses, hackers, hundreds of passwords to remember, and getting all our tech to sync up. Introducing Tech Home. Technology made easy for you and your devices. Tech Home makes it easy to set up, protect, and enjoy your internet-connected devices anytime, anywhere. Security, password management, backup, and premium tech support. Get back in charge of your digital life now with Tech Home.
Satellite TV providers force you to sign a long-term contract, then saddle you with second-rate service and price increases. Ritter delivers TV service with stunning HD channels, plus bundle savings on the area's fastest internet, and a better home phone service with no long-term contracts, backed by our local customer care team. No contracts, no nonsense, just great service. Don't get stuck with a dish. Visit rittercommunications.com to learn more.
It begins with a click. And no matter where you are, you have countless choices at your fingertips. On the road, on your break, even in your own backyard. A world of entertainment is just a click away. Simply go to rittercommunications.com/TV everywhere to get started. Ritter Communications, connecting you to everything that matters.
With so many great mega services available from Ritter Communications, it's hard to pick just one. Save a bundle with bundled services. Talk as much as you want, when you want, with unlimited long distance. Get the speed you need with up to 15, 30, 50, and even 100 megabits per second internet. Enjoy online bill pay and protect all your online data and devices with Tech Home and Guardware. With so many choices, options, and savings from Ritter, all you can say is, wow! Mega services, mega savings. That's Mega Ritter.
Andy Maness and Ryan Short welcome you back to Don Lovell Memorial Field. here at halftime. Mark Tree trailing the EPC Warriors by a score of 12-6. A little bit of technical difficulties there with our graphic operators, but don't worry, still got another half of football to get it straightened out. Again, 12-6 is your score. EPC leading Mark Tree. It's been a fun, close ball game to be a part of so far tonight, Ryan. A lot of ground game, but that second quarter seems like both teams just kind of stalled out on offense.
Yeah, the first possession of the game, we see a great defensive stand by Mark Tree, and then obviously they're able to come out and have that 59-yard pass, get them inside the 2-yard line, end up knocking that home, first score of the game. Since then, they've kind of been held quiet for the most part, and then EPC is able to answer, get 2 scores for themselves. 2 attempts at 2-point conversions, both of those failed, so we've got a 1-score matchup on our hand, and we're geared up for a great second half.
Yeah, all of the points that have been scored so far tonight were scored in that first quarter, and again, both teams just kind of really played excellent defense there in the second. You take a look at the halftime stats of the first 2 quarters. EPC leading the way with 96 rushing yards compared to Mark Tree's 35. But then the Indians hooking up on a big passing play there in the first quarter that set up their only touchdown. That's why they've got 59 passing yards versus EPC's 5. But you see that EPC just a slight advantage in total yardage, 101 to 94. And the penalties, both teams playing very even and very, I guess you could say, undisciplined as each other. 6 penalties throughout the first half for both teams.
Yeah, and just something to echo right here. Mark Tree, they may be down on the scoreboard right now. They may be down 6-12, but if it wasn't for a couple plays, I mean, they've had 2 plays that have gone for a loss of 15 yards or more that sort of have knocked them back. As far as the passing attack, it's basically been absent tonight. That 59 yards on passing for Mark Tree is on 4 attempts, so that 1 completion accounting for all the passing yards, and we can say the same thing for EPC because they've attempted 6 passes tonight, but only 1 was able to find the intended receiver, so they have 5 passing yards in total. Like you said, Andy, everything's coming on the ground right now for both teams.
Yeah, both teams kind of well under their average as far as total points scored for the year. Mark Tree comes into tonight's game averaging 14 points a game, so they're not too far off that. But look at EPC. This Mark Tree defense has been playing great tonight, only allowing 12 points through the first 2 quarters to EPC. They come in tonight averaging 32 a game. So, great job so far by the Indians. It's just, do they have enough stamina to maintain that defensive pressure throughout the course of this game? Through the first 2 quarters, though, they've shown great effort.
Yeah, if you're Mark Tree right now, you're in the locker room at half, and you're trying to figure out how your offense can come out and be productive and gain some positive yardage, because that first possession we saw a good pass play down the sideline, 59 yards, as we said. They're able to get a score, but since then, since they made the quarterback change to Brown, basically their offense has sputtered out, and they really haven't been able to piece together. They've gotten into the red zone once or twice, but haven't been able to find pay dirt. For EPC, if you're at half right now and you're talking to your team, they have to have an answer for Jamari Anderson. He has been absolutely tearing it up on offense and defense. He's getting into the backfield on defense and disrupting all the plays they are trying to get on the ground. And then as far as offense, we can definitely see that burst of speed he has in the interior, getting good chunks of yards.
Yeah, he is like a heat-seeking missile on defense. He is just, coming around that the edge of the offensive line completely untouched at times, and of course coming up with that big sack there at the end of the second quarter and forcing a fumble. So again, the score is 12-6. Mark Tree hanging in there, trailing by just a touchdown against their rival from just down the road, the East Poinsett County Warriors. Still about 8 minutes left on the halftime clock. So we're going to go ahead and step aside for another break. When we come back here on our halftime segment, we'll talk about some of the other scores going on around the area. A lot of important games and conferences tonight. We'll see if we can track down some scores for you guys at home. Again, thanks for watching on Facebook tonight. This game is brought to you by our great sponsors, First National Bank, Hubbard & Hoke Furniture, and, of course, our newest sponsor, SSR Insulation, LLC. We're back with more of the halftime show right after this on Tubetown, live local from Ritter Communications.
put you first. Introducing You First Banking, only at First National Bank.
You've got a lot of choices when you buy home furnishings. There are many reasons to choose Hubbard & Hope Furniture, Blytheville and Osceola.
At Hubbard & Hope, you'll find a great selection of furniture, appliances, bedding, and electronics with outstanding service, 6 ways to finance your purchase, and free local delivery.
Plus, you'll get a great deal every day on name brands you know and trust.
Great deals, outstanding service, and free delivery. You're going to love
Hubbard & Hope Furniture, Blytheville and Osceola.
Life doesn't always go as planned. So when a power surge affects your TV, or a breakfast mishap takes out your laptop, Guardware multi-device protection gives you peace of mind, knowing your devices will be repaired or replaced with just one call, and without breaking the bank. Protection you can trust. Guardware from Ritter. Enroll today to keep what matters most protected tomorrow.
How much bandwidth will satisfy your home's hunger? The average household now has more wireless devices in use a day than ever before, including TVs, laptops, tablets, and smartphones. HD streaming and gaming can use large amounts of data and slow down speeds for other users. The more devices you use, the more bandwidth your home needs. So make sure you have enough bandwidth. Get up to 100 megs with internet from Ritter Communications. It's the speed you need to power all your devices. Call today.
No matter what kind of business you own or operate, you need to keep it connected. Ritter Communications delivers the fastest business internet speeds available at a price that won't slow you down. Ritter offers reliable 24-hour service with network monitoring, along with the scalable options your business needs to grow. And we do it all on our own fiber optic network. The choice is yours, and so is the savings. Connect to something better. Call or visit ritterbusiness.com today.
911, what's your emergency?
I'm home alone. Someone is trying to get in the back door.
Find a safe place like in a closet or under a bed, okay?
Okay.
Be very quiet and don't worry. Your home phone gave me your location.
Hurry.
Help is on the way.
Only a dedicated home phone can quickly pinpoint your address for emergency personnel. Cell phones can't. Keep your loved ones safe for less than 60 cents a day with a home phone from Ritter. Call today or go to rittercommunications.com.
Introducing Ritter Home Security. Ritter takes care of protecting what's most important to you, from threats like unwelcome visitors and fire, to making your life easier by putting the control of your home at your fingertips. Use the free app to shut the garage, lock the door, turn off lights, arm the system, and more. You can even turn back the thermostat to help save money on your energy bill. Plus, get a snapshot when your kids get home. It's smart, beautiful, convenient, and ready for your busy life. Ritter Home Security.
Until you've seen how fast it really is, some people's reaction to Ritter's 100 megabit internet might be like, 100 mega, huh? Here's how we describe it. Mega beautiful, mega fast, mega blast, mega party, mega Ritter. There's no end to your online possibilities with up to 100 meg internet speeds. In a word, that means mega fun. If you're not getting your high-speed internet from Ritter, you should. Call 888-336-4466 today. Only from Ritter Communications, right by you.
For your smartphones, tablets, phablets. For the browsers you carry in your trousers. Wowzers! For your big screens and small screens, short screens and tall screens, get speed that screams. From the top of your desk to the palm of your hand, it's the fastest internet speed in the land.
There's no end to your online possibilities with up to 100 meg internet speeds. If you're not getting your internet from Ritter, you should. Call 888-336-4466 today. Ritter Communications, right by you.
High-speed internet for every grown-up, grandparent, kid, teen, and in between. Ritter's got it. Every JPEG, MPEG, and GIF for the working mom or the working stiff, loaded in a GIF. Whether you're a blogger, gamer, or pixel tamer, don't be a slow-speed blamer. Don't waste your time waiting to load that page. Get Ritter high-speed internet. It's all the rage.
There's no end to your online possibilities with up to 100 meg internet speeds. Only from Ritter Communications, right by you.
You work here, you play here, you live here, and yet most of what you watch on television is about somewhere other than here. Until now, we proudly present Tubetown, TV about you. Tubetown is a Ritter Communications exclusive network featuring local sports, community events, unique and original programming from our community. Tubetown takes what's best about television, what's best about the community, and brings them together. Tubetown, only from Ritter Communications, right by you.
Welcome back to Don Lovell Memorial Field here in Mark Tree. Andy Manis and Ryan Short here with you at halftime between the EPC Warriors and the Mark Tree Indians. 12-6 is the score of this conference rivalry. Still about 2.5 minutes left before we get started here in the third quarter. It will be Mark Tree football when we start the third quarter.
Yeah, Andy, I think it's important right now to sort of reflect back on how these teams have fared so well during the season. As we mentioned in the pregame, Mark Tree coming into this matchup, they're going to be 1-4 on the season so far. They've dropped a couple games to Walnut Ridge and Hazen where they were shut out, but tonight they were able to get 6 points on the board from their first drive. We can't say the same for EPC though. They've had a lot of success this season. 4-1 to start off, looking to add to that as they're at Mark Tree tonight. And historically, this matchup, they're leading 12-5 in the series. So EPC looking to rebound, and as we mentioned previously in the halftime, have some type of response here in the second half to get back to the EPC team that we've seen throughout the season so far.
Let's take a look at some scores from around the area. We'll start with a couple of the higher conferences, a couple of games going on. Jonesboro, how about this score, leading Pine Bluff right now, 13-12 at halftime. Searcy taking on Marion, 14-0. Searcy leading that one at halftime. West Memphis at halftime against Sylvan Hills. They'll lead that one 13-10. Rivercrest over Highland at halftime, 34-14. Forest City over Batesville, 8-0 so far in that one. Wynn and Valley View at halftime. Wynn leading this one 28-0. Nettleton shutting out Paragould at halftime, 42-0. Pocahontas leading Cave City at halftime, 35-7. This one already in the third quarter. Hoxie leading Corning, 44-6. Osceola over Manila at the halftime break, 38-0. Newport leading Harrisburg at half, 49-20. Walnut Ridge not putting up very many points so far tonight against Piggott. They're leading 14-8 over Piggott. And then Cross County right now has a lead on McCrory near the halftime break, 22-6. The score in that one. We'll try to keep some scores rolling your way as we continue on here from Don Lovell Memorial Field here in Mark Tree. Both teams making their way back out onto the field to begin their halftime stretches. So probably going to go ahead and put a couple of minutes back on the clock and let the teams get ready for the third quarter. So we're going to step aside one more time. When we come back, we'll be set for the third quarter of action between these two rivals, the Mark Tree Indians and the EPC Warriors, all coming up next here on Tubetown.
You live. We put you first. Introducing You First Banking, only at First National Bank.
You've got a lot of choices when you buy home furnishings. There are many reasons to choose Hubbard & Hope Furniture, Blytheville and Osceola.
At Hubbard & Hope, you'll find a great selection of furniture, appliances, bedding, and electronics with outstanding service, 6 ways to finance your purchase, and free local delivery.
Plus, you'll get a great deal every day on name brands you know and trust.
Great deals, outstanding service, and free delivery. You're going to love
Hubbard & Hope Furniture, Blytheville and Osceola.
Life doesn't always go as planned. So when a power surge affects your TV, or a breakfast mishap takes out your laptop, Guardware multi-device protection gives you peace of mind, knowing your devices will be repaired or replaced with just one call, and without breaking the bank. Protection you can trust. Guardware from Ritter. Enroll today to keep what matters most protected tomorrow.
How much much bandwidth will satisfy your home's hunger? The average household now has more wireless devices in use a day than ever before, including TVs, laptops, tablets, and smartphones. HD streaming and gaming can use large amounts of data and slow down speeds for other users. The more devices you use, the more bandwidth your home needs. So make sure you have enough bandwidth. Get up to 100 megs with internet from Ritter Communications. It's the speed you need to power all your devices. Call today.
No matter what kind of business you own or operate, you need to keep it connected. Ritter Communications delivers the fastest business internet speeds available at a price that won't slow you down. Ritter offers reliable 24-hour service with network monitoring, along with the scalable options your business needs to grow. And we do it all on our own fiber optic network. The choice is yours, and so is the savings. Connect to something better. Call or visit RitterBusiness.com today.
Andy Maness and Ryan Short back here with you in Mark Tree, ready to start the third quarter between the Indians and the Warriors. The Indians will come out here in the third quarter to take the third quarter kickoff. EPC won the coin toss this evening, and they elected to receive first. So Mark Tree going to get it first here to start the second half. Got about 3 men back deep looking to return this one too.
Don't know where it's really going to go. They've got a host of them back there. One of them on the near side is going to be Anderson. It looks like also they've got big number 14. We haven't called his name much tonight. He's just a sophomore, but Malone is going to head up the attack right in the middle of the return team. And then also back there, I believe that's Johnson on the far side as well.
So here comes the opening kick to start the third quarter from EPC. It'll take a bounce out of bounds. Actually, it didn't even bounce out of bounds. Just went straight out. So Mark Tree going to start the third quarter with some pretty decent field position. Talked about that earlier in the game.
Yep.
That's mostly where both of these teams have been starting tonight.
They've hung out in the middle of the field. Really, nobody's been pinned back and had to accumulate any type of long drive or long outstanding drive. Andy, in the halftime, you were mentioning a few scores from around the region. I want to mention that two teams that we haven't been able to notch on our belt so far this year has been Searcy and Jonesboro. That game we're going to have the privilege of covering in a couple weeks, October 19th. We're going to be in Jonesboro as we see that they're obviously trying to get back on track tonight with their a win over Pine Bluff, hopefully.
So now the referee is getting some clarification from the side official over here. And now we're ready to go. First and 10 from their own 37-yard line. Jack Brown in the shotgun formation for the Indians. He'll hand it off to Johnson. Johnson running to his right. He's going to cut up between the hash marks. Runs into a big hit from the EPC defense, and he's pushed backwards. Forward progress. Stopped at about the 37-yard line. What a big hit. Take a look on the Ritter Communications instant replay here. As soon as Johnson cuts upfield, watch the linebacker just come in and crash him there. I think that was Harston there on the big hit. Harston's going to take a few minutes to get up after that one. I think he rung his own bell.
Yeah, they're going to stop him at the line of scrimmage, but we're going to have a face mask penalty that was called. It's not going to be a personal foul, though, so only a 5-yard penalty, and it's going to be 1st and 5 for the Indians on their opening drive.
Two wide receiver set here for Brown. Actually, be 2nd and 5. They didn't make it first down. Tripped up in the backfield. TJ Bush tripping up the tailback. Johnson not able to pick up any yards. Couldn't find the corner, and he'll actually lose one there.
Good pursuit defense right there, just being able to get a little shoestring tackle in before he really got any forward momentum and pick up any yardage. Interesting to see that Brown's still back at cornerback. I know earlier, first drive of the game, we saw McCurry back there, and they haven't elected to go back to that. He's now split out wide for the Indians.
Still not a minute gone by here in the third quarter.
It should be 2nd down and 6, I believe. They have it wrong on the field. They've got it wrong on the scoreboard with that 5-yard penalty for face mask. It should be 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6.
Yeah, they get it fixed now. Now it is 2nd and 5. Brown looking to throw out of the flats now. A little screen play. Wide receiver barely got his hands on the football and was able to haul that one in before the defense got there. They'll stop him for a loss. It'll now be 3rd and 10 coming up.
Yeah, like we were saying, in the first half, Mark Tree accumulated 59 yards of passing offense. That was his only completion, and they come out in their first drive able to get another completion, but it's going to go negative yardage.
So now McCrary waiting on the play here with 10:21 to play in the 3rd quarter. 15 seconds left on the play clock. EPC with some late substitutions coming onto the field. See big Jalen Pearson headed off of the field and a substitute coming in for him. So now here we go. 3rd and long coming up. 2 wide receivers. Brown's just going to take it himself. Running right up the gut. He's across the 40, across the 45-yard line. Got the first down and more. And the Indians will have it 1st and 10 from about the 48. You see Rayshawn Gates coming out with a football there, but I think Jack Brown was down. Take another look as he just scoots right up the middle across the Mark Tree logo at midfield. And right there he's dragged to the ground. And
never heard a whistle. I know we got an enclosed press box up here, so it's kind of hard to hear, but he was still fighting for yardage, so I'm sure he didn't hear a whistle either. But they're going to give him forward progress and Indians first down.
Yeah, 4th play of this drive coming up. Taking about nearly 3 minutes off of the clock here in the 3rd quarter. Got a little bit of momentum working their way to the Indians. Here's a handoff. Running to his right is Johnson. Johnson's across the 50, dragging a defender. Actually, the defender drug him backwards. How about that? Nice tackle there by James Lard, able to get a hand on Johnson and bring him down. Watch him bring him down. Lard's already on the ground, and he drags him down.
Yeah, good downhill running right there, but wrapping up, I think they learned something going into half, that simply just trying to tackle these Indian running backs with your arms isn't going to work. We've seen Johnson and Anderson be pretty elusive tonight, but good tackle right there.
2nd and 6 now coming up for Mark Tree. They got 2 wide receivers lined up on the far side, and again it's Kylan Johnson standing in the backfield to the left of Brown. Brown's going to take it himself, following his blockers. Scoots across the 45-yard line, close to the first down marker, but he'll come up just about a yard short. 3rd and 1 coming up now for Mark Tree, nearing the 8:30 mark here in the 3rd quarter. Good possession of the clock here for Mark Tree, but they're going to have to convert on 3rd and short right here if they want to keep it rolling.
Good opening drive right here from Mark Tree. They're going to bring over McCrary to get the play call. As long as they can keep this ball game in there, they're having 3rd and manageable, and they're able to get into these positions where they can keep the ball on the ground. It's really going to work in their favor if the Indians want to have continued success tonight.
2 wide receivers here for Brown. Warriors rather showing pressure. It's a handoff to Anderson, who's into the game. He scoots back to the middle of the field. He's across the 30-yard line, keeping his feet churning. Finally, the Warriors are going to have to gang tackle him to bring him down. What a run that time on 3rd down from Jamaria Anderson. Taking off to his left and then cutting back up to the right. Oh, great field vision. He saw that hole close off and just cut back between the hash marks.
Absolutely. It's a wonder just watching him run to be able to find those holes. He's coming in late downs, and they're keeping him in the game right here. A good 13-yard pickup for Anderson.
2 wide receivers set here for Brown. Anderson still in the backfield, standing to the right. He's going to go ahead as a blocker. Jack Brown going to keep it himself running, trying to stay on his feet here. And he lost the football at the end of that one. The referee just picks it up, so I'm assuming that means it's a dead ball.
I think they're going to give him a little bit of forward progress, though. It looked like they had stopped him at the line of scrimmage, but once again, trying to get yards. Once it seems like the play's dead, just long body falling forward, able to pick up 2 yards.
Well, the snap, I don't know if you saw, the snap actually took him to the left initially, and he's running to the right, so going to be a step behind the play as it is after that snap. He does, as you mentioned, able to use his long body to get a couple of yards there on first down. So now 2nd and 8 coming up with under 7 minutes left to play in the 3rd. Here's Brown following the man in motion as a blocker. He's going to try to push the pile forward down to the 20-yard line. They got to get down to about the 18. Finally, a whistle's blown. It looked like a rugby scrum out there.
Yeah, the near side receiver was coming in motion. That was Chris Ivey, who I believe caught that touchdown pass in the first in the first drive for the Indians, but there's a little timing issue, and he sort of was just stutter stepping in the background, and then with a host of Indians pushing, he's able to pick up 3 yards, and once again we see another third down here on this drive that the Indians need to convert.
Yeah, Kylan Johnson in the backfield, standing on the left hip of Jack Brown. There's the snap. Brown's going to run to his left, cuts up the offensive line. He's near the first down marker, and I think he's got it. I think he had to get down to about the 18, and he moves it down to the 15, so they'll move the chains again. This time they're inside the red zone of EPC.
Good opening drive right here by Mark Tree. I mean, we saw it in the first half. As you see him sort of just follow his blockers and be able to get to the first down marker, push forward, extra effort like we've been talking about all night. But we saw this in the first half. You have an opening drive that goes for 6, and now they're trying to do the same here, but hopefully the momentum doesn't stop there.
Jamaria Anderson back in the game in the backfield. He's going to run to the right and block for Brown. Brown cuts up between the hash marks, spins off of one defender. He's inside the 5-yard line, but a flag down back at about the 15 is likely going to bring this one back. It'll be a holding against the Indians, so 10 yards from the spot of that foul, and that one will hurt the Indians quite a bit, as it looked like Jack Brown had moved that one down inside the 10-yard line.
Trying to see who they're calling on the hold there. I didn't quite catch it, but since it's from the spot of the foul, it's going to back them up quite a way. So what was going to be we'll call it a second and about 3, maybe even a first down. I didn't quite see how far he got down there. Now they're backed up. It's going to be a good first and at least 19-20 here. They're going to mark it first and 21 for the Indians.
Yeah, first and 20. They do have to get it down inside the 10-yard line for a first and goal situation. Let's see what they do here with 5:20 to play in the third. Brown steps up. He's looking to run with it. Got a lot of running room. Bounces it out to the outside. He's down near the 10-yard line. How about that? One play, he makes up all of those penalty yardage and then some.
Yeah. Good downhill running right there, getting second down there. They're definitely knocking on the door here. Looks like we've got a injured EPC player on the play.
Yeah, he's going to pop right up and come off the field, and that's TJ Bush, who comes up a little bit shaken.
I think on that replay we saw him sort of get wrapped. His legs got wrapped up just a little bit, and he may have got stepped on, but fortunately he was able to go off on his own power.
4:58 to play here in the third quarter. Mark Tree has come out of the locker room and just completely controlled the football since we started the third quarter.
We're already under 5 minutes. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, they've taken 7 minutes off of the game clock here in the third quarter. 7 minutes and 2 seconds to be exact. And on top of that, this is their 11th play coming up. Started with the ball on their own 37-yard line, so they've taken it almost the entire distance. 2nd and 4 coming up for the Indians. McCrary goes out as a wide receiver on the far sideline. It's Kylan Johnson back in the backfield for the Indians. Chris Ivey lined up at wide receiver here on the near side. It's Jack Brown going to take it, and he's swallowed up in the backfield, wrapped up immediately. And that's Andrew Harston, who got through the offensive line and wrapped him up. Well, he just shot in from that linebacker position, and I mean, just like a heat-seeking missile.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen him tonight, and at some point we're going to see EPC just absolutely load up the box. They really haven't tried to stretch the field much except for on that first drive, and we really haven't seen a good downfield pass by Brown. So as long as they're going to continue with this little quarterback option going, I mean, right through the A gap, then there's no need for those linebackers to be sitting back waiting for pass coverage. They might as well be heading downfield and trying to stop as much yardage, because we've seen it time and time again. As soon as Brown gets ahead of steam, he's hard to bring down.
13th play of this drive coming up. There's the snap. Hand off to Johnson. Johnson running to his left. He's chased down from behind by Harston and driven backwards.
Caught from behind right there. It's going to go down as a loss. You can see right here, once again, Harston shot through that gap on that far side, and he's able to catch it from behind, and it's going to come down to about a 4th and 7 right here for Mark Tree. So we've seen it once already tonight. They're able to march the ball down the field, get it inside the red zone, but if they don't hit pay dirt, then they're really going to be hurting right here.
Yeah, and then you hate to see that too. You take 8 minutes off the clock in a quarter and have this much success, that many plays in a row. You want to cap it off with 6 points. Going to have to get it down to the 5-yard line here.
3 seconds on the play clock. They get it off.
Brown throws it out to Anderson. Anderson jukes a man at the 15, makes it down to the 10. And they're going to spot him just shy of the 5-yard line. I don't know where the line to gain is. We'll see. If they spot him at the 6, he should be about a yard shy, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Take another look at the replay, and let's see if he goes down. It looks like his head scraped the grass. Juked the shoes out of Andrew Harston. I mean,
yeah,
goodness. Yeah, his knees hit the ground right there at about the 8, so it will be a turnover on downs.
I believe his forearm got down, but, I mean, good play call right there, knowing that your playmaker, the guy that you've sort of leaned on all night, is going to be right there in the slot and just get a little screen out to him to the near side. And that play, I mean, it was busted. He had somebody right in front of him, made an incredible move to get past him. But it's going to end up being, what's your tally sheet there? You run out of ink, 14-play drive that's going to result in a turnover.
Yep, 14 plays in about 8 minutes. That's unbelievable. Andrew Harston's got to go pick his ankles back up at the 15-yard line. Oh, and the Indians drawn offsides. So 1st and 5 coming up after that penalty, and there's a couple of frustrated Mark Tree Indians out there for sure.
I mean, you're deflated after you go down and you have the turnover and downs, and then you're thinking, okay, we've got them pushed back all the way to the 8-yard line. Maybe we can pin them back here and play the whole game, the field position, but giving them 5 yards right off the bat like that's going to be hard to overcome.
Well, and you got to look at it this way. We've been talking all night long about numbers out on the field, and you look at how many players are playing both ways for the Mark Tree Indians. You go all that way, spend all that time out on offense, and don't cap it off with a touchdown. You're kind of drained after that, and then you got to go right back out on defense. Commit the penalty, give the Warriors 1st and 5, and here's Gates on a carry, running to the right. Boy, EPC hasn't had the football since 46 seconds left to play here in the second quarter. And they're with 2:35. They've got it for the first time here in the second half.
First play from the line of scrimmage is end up going to be a loss of yardage. It's going to be listed as about 2nd and 6. So they were gifted 5 yards on the offside penalty, but they come out in the I formation and not being able to tack any yardage behind them.
Trying to create some space between them and their own end zone. Raines has Gates standing to his right, 2 wide receivers lined up on the near side. Harston lined up on the far side numbers. There's a handoff for Gates. Gates cuts it right up the middle. Lost the football. Indians got it. I think the Indians fell on top of it, and they do. So with 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter, a big hit on Rayshawn Gates causes him to lose the football. Right there, just got a helmet across the football. And I think that was McCrary who fell on top of it.
Man, you've seen these kids time and time again tonight come out, and they're fighting for that extra yard, and they're trying to get every last inch that they can get. And right there, it comes up to be a little bit costly. And I mean, we're talking about just an absolute devastating moment for Mark Tree that they're not able to cap off that drive. Well, now they've got new life.
And that was Eli McCrary who recovered that fumble, and boy, he took a shot at the end of that one as well. So glad to see he's getting up and walking that one off. He'll head out as a wide receiver on the far side numbers, and it'll once again be Jack Brown in the backfield awaiting the snap. Jamaria Anderson is in the backfield with him as the tailback. It'll be Chris Ivy lined up on the near side as a wide receiver. Anderson takes the handoff, running to his right, hits the Jets at the 10-yard line, still on his feet, no whistle blown yet. He's fighting for every extra yard he can get. And finally, some flags come flying out there at the end of that.
Yeah, we've got a flag on the far side of the field. I'm not sure what that one is, but then there was definitely some jawing going on. So we're going to probably have a few penalties here, possibly offset, depending on who they're going to say won or lost the shoving match after the ball was blown dead.
Well, a lot of times you always see it. It's the guy who retaliates, not the guy who initiates. So we'll see what the call is out on the field. The 2 referees out discussing it at about the 5-yard line. See one referee pointing towards Mark Tree, and then he pointed towards EPC. So I think we may have some offsetting penalties here. Let's have a look. See a personal foul, or excuse me, holding rather, on Mark Tree. And then unsportsmanlike conduct also on the Indians. So that's a 15-yard penalty, and it'll be a second down now after that. So they're going to decline the holding penalty, and they'll take the personal foul.
So we're going to see after the play here. I mean, they're absolutely fighting for yards, and you see everybody standing around like wondering why he's fighting for those extra yards, because they believe he's blown dead. So just a little chippy, a little bit of talking going on back and forth. I mean, we've talked about both of these teams have players that play on both sides of the ball, and you start talking long enough, you've been out there a solid 30, 45 minutes of game time with them. Eventually their temper's going to flare.
Well, I mean, we're talking about a rivalry game here. Both of these teams, again, only separated by about 10 miles, so I think most of these guys probably know each other.
It's crazy to look. We've got a minute 47 left here in the third quarter. EPC has ran 2 plays from the line of scrimmage.
Mark Tree, on the other hand, has run a good 15.
You just usually don't see that type of imbalance. So since it was a unsportsmanlike conduct at the end of the play, they actually are going to tack off a whole 25 yards.
Yep. They're going to get them both 10 for the holding from the spot of the foul, and then as Ryan mentioned, they're going to add that 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct to the end of that. So, man, you got the ball inside the red zone. You start with it on your opponent's 15-yard line. Now you're backed up all the way to the 42. Clock will continue to roll as well.
I mean, that's going to rack up 10 penalties for them tonight.
Empty backfield here for Brown. Brown's just going to sprint ahead. Makes it across the line of scrimmage, but not much further than that. He'll pick up maybe 3-4 yards on that first down carry. So now it'll be second and still a mile to go. Clock continues to tick down near the minute mark here in the third quarter. As Ryan said, it has been Mark Tree football for the majority of this third quarter. And now Jack Brown is hopping on one leg. He can't put much weight on that right leg, and hopefully that's just a cramp, getting a little bit of help from his teammate. So he'll make his way across the field. But, you know, we've been talking about it all night. It's a numbers game, and Mark Tree is running out of numbers right now.
Yeah, so for EPC, they've got James Lard down there, seem to be stretching out a cramp. And then I'm not sure. It looks like everybody's stretching on this side of the field for Mark Tree. They're geared up. I mean, these young men, they're in the middle of their season right now. They're in mid-season form, and they're out here, and they're going to be grinding for every inch. So those cramps, those stingers that you get, they stretch them out, and they're just going to have to get right back out there.
Mark Tree, if you're just joining us here in the second half, started off this third quarter with a 9-minute, 9-second drive, 14 plays that resulted in a turnover on downs on the EPC 8-yard line. That's pretty much where we're at right now, as EPC ran just 2 plays before coughing it up on a fumble and giving it back to the Indians, and now the Indians, a couple of penalties on the same play, have quite a ways to go to get back down near the original line of scrimmage, all the way back at the 15.
I would have to do some quick math looking at the first half stats, but currently Mark Tree has 10 penalties for 95 yards, and I'm going to say that's awfully close to their total offense for the night. Just absolutely
on that one drive.
shooting themselves in the foot.
It'll be once again an empty backfield here for Jack Brown, who's back out on the field. Low snap, he's got to bend down to pick it up. Now he's just going to run with it. Juked a couple of defenders in the backfield and was able to pick up about a yard, so still third and quite a ways to go now, inside of a minute to play here in the third quarter.
They need to get the ball inside of about the 7 or 8 yard line to get a first down. So if you're Mark Tree, you're fixing to get a play off before the third quarter ends, but you're going for it. I mean, we haven't seen anything as far as kickoff or field goal that leads me to believe they'll do anything besides. They're going for it no matter what. So
2 down territory right here, no doubt.
Same formation we saw earlier when they ran the little screen pass here on the near side to Anderson.
Brown looking to throw. Now he's going to step up in the pocket, runs right into a defender, and he'll be sacked in the backfield. Great job by Tyshawn Garrett. Second time we've called his name tonight. He just works the offensive lineman and is able to get back in the backfield.
Yeah, I mean, if he's able to evade those defensive ends and tackles right there, I mean, he may have been able to come up with some type of yardage, but As the third quarter clock hits all zeros, we still have the same score when we started the quarter, 12-6, Mark Tree.
12-6, Mark Tree trailing EPC by just a touchdown. They held the ball for nearly a whole quarter. They're going to come back facing a 4th and 30 to start the fourth quarter. We're back right after this here on Tubetown, live local from Ritter Communications.
You live. We put you first. Introducing You First Banking, only at First National Bank.
Andy Maness and Ryan Short welcome you back to a packed house for this rivalry game in the 2A3 conference. Getting ready to start the fourth quarter. It's Mark Tree trailing EPC by a touchdown. 12-6 is the score to start the fourth, and it is 4th and about a mile to go here. 4th and 30 is where they've got it spotted for the Mark Tree Indians, and they're going to have to punt this one away. Rayshawn Gates standing back at his own 15-yard line and waiting this punt from Orlando Harper. And a false start on the Indians as Kylan Johnson just started backpedaling before the snap got off.
Yeah, and once again, I've noticed this earlier. Mark Tree's long snapper, he definitely uses his momentum to get that ball back there. And I think it just causes a little bit of angst for both the offense and the defense.
So they'll have to replay 4th down. It's now 4th and 35.
Is that? Gosh, that's a long.
That is a long way to go.
Might as well go back to Lepanto.
It's about where they're punting from right now. Harper awaiting the snap. There it is. You see the momentum, big heave there.
Oh,
nice punt. Yeah, they ran into the kicker. I think this one's going to go against EPC, as it looks like Harston ran into Harper there trying to block that punt. We'll take another look here. And it is going to be running into the kicker. 5-yard penalty. So just a 5-yard penalty as opposed to the roughing the kicker, which would be a personal foul and an automatic first down.
They still have a ways to go right here. So let's see, that ball would have been stopped. We'll call it the 19. So let's see if they move them 5 yards. Oh, they're going to decline the penalty. So
didn't want to bother re-kicking it again. They were pretty happy with
starting them inside the 20. I mean, as far as field position is concerned, that's I'm going to say EPC. That's one of the besides their last drive, starting inside like their own 10. One of the worst starting field positions they've had tonight. Yeah, that last drive in that last quarter, again, they only ran 2 plays. They did start at their own 8-yard line. That was the worst starting field position for either team tonight. And as you mentioned, not quite as bad as last time, but still not ideal for the Warriors. So they do have this touchdown lead to start the fourth quarter, though, and that's where they want to be. So from about their own 16-yard line, Raines takes the snap, tosses it out to Bush. Bush hit, and the ball came out. And the Indians have it again. Are you kidding me? Another fumble for the EPC Warriors, and the Mark Tree Indians will once again fall on top of it. The third time we've seen that happen tonight. No, they're gonna. I think they're giving the ball back to EPC. They're saying it's an incomplete pass. I mean, there's one of two things they could have thought happened right there. They either thought he had possession, he dropped it, or it was a lateral. And I don't think either one of those two things happened. Well, the FAR judge was the one that threw the beanbag onto the ground, saying that it was a fumble. I think since he had the receivers back to him, he thought he was making a football move and had possession, but that ball just hit off the receiver's chest and went back straight back to the ground. Yeah, and Coach Dunn not happy with that call right now. He's pointing. He's pointing over there at that far side official. He called it a fumble. But he is overruled, and he'll make his way back to the sideline now. So 2nd and 10 now coming up. Indians a little bit out of position. There's the snap, jet sweep to Harston. Harston trying to find an edge. Can't find one. He had to spin to avoid the initial hit and ran into about 3 more. They're going to back him up. I mean, that's something that we saw. I mean, last drive as well. They come out and the Indian defense is able to basically just absolutely hold the Warriors. They haven't really been able to generate anything on offense. Obviously, we almost saw a second fumble or lateral pass right there that it wasn't able to come up with. So, I mean, Warriors have to get something going right here.
Chance to make a big third down stop right here. It's a 4 wide receiver look for the Warriors. It's a handoff to Gates. Gates bounces to the outside, points out blockers. He's at the 25, following his blockers to the 30. Now down the near sideline, bumped out of bounds at the 35. 2 flags come flying out at the end of that play, and this one may be coming back. I saw one official signal holding.
Yeah, he had enough for the first down, but that one's going to be coming back.
Yeah, and if that's the case, they'll replay the down. It'll be third, and from the spot, it should be about 3rd and 10.
See, and I don't necessarily know if I agree with that call. So look here on the near side. He's able to go out here, and that receiver blocking right there for him, I believe that's – who do we have that as? That's Constant that was on the block,
yeah,
and he
Gavin
held that
Constant.
block for so long, and fundamentally it looked like it was correct, but the fact that they were physically pushing him to where he needed to go, they ended up calling the flag on.
Well, it looked like he got turned around and didn't let go of his man either, and I think that's why they might have called that. So 3rd and 9 coming up now after that play.
Couple questionable calls here going against both sides as far as the refs are concerned.
Fake the jet sweep, they hand off to Gates. Gates, following his blockers, gets clipped at about the 26-yard line, lost his helmet. Boy, I tell you what, James Lard is giving these rushers all they want. 52's out there blocking like his life depends on it. Watch 52 come up here. He's the guard pulling from the left side, and he's just bullying Chris Ivy down the field, trying to make some room here for the tailback. And
yeah, and then so while that was going on, it looks like EPC is very, very close to getting a first down. And then on the far side of the field, out of our camera shot, we had some type of interaction going. I believe it was Brown for Mark Tree and then TJ Bush for EPC. They sort of got locked up on the far sideline, and they're going to call a personal foul against Brown. So that's going to knock off more yards, and what was going to be close to a first down is definitely going to be a first down.
Yep, they'll go ahead and move the chains down the field after that one.
That's their 6th penalty of the second half going against Mark Tree.
Their 6th penalty of the second half, and they have ran about twice as many plays, maybe 3 times as many more plays as EPC has here in the whole second half. Warriors have it right now in control, though, with a 6-point lead at the 44-yard line. 1st and 10 now. 4 wide receiver set. Tailback standing to the left of Raines. There's the snap. It's an option play. Raines going to keep it himself, trying to find the edge on the far sideline. Drug down from behind. I think that might have been Kylan Johnson who chased him down from behind for the loss. It'll now be 2nd and about 12 coming up.
Andy, I just got that feeling in my stomach. You know, whenever you see the clock and you see the intensity by both teams, that if you think Mark Tree's going to go down without a fight, I'm convinced as much success as they've had on offense without scoring points so far in the second half, if their offense gets the ball again and they're only down 1 score, this thing's going to come down to a nail-biter.
Well, and you got to look at EPC's probably frustrated as well, putting as many points up as they have all year long and then struggling with their rival down the road here. Only put up 12 points, all 12 of them come in the first quarter. And now, with the play clock nearing 0, we're going to get a timeout from East Poinsett County. Their first timeout of the second half. They have 2 remaining. Mark Tree still has all 3 of theirs. We'll take a timeout alongside with them. 9:48 left to play here in the ball game, and it's still 12-6 EPC, leading Mark Tree by a touchdown. We're watching Prep Football on Tubetown. Live local from Ritter Communications.
You've got a lot of choices when you buy home furnishings. There are many reasons to choose Hubbard & Hope Furniture, Blytheville and Osceola.
At Hubbard & Hope, you'll find a great selection of furniture, appliances, bedding, and electronics with outstanding service, 6 ways to finance your purchase, and free local delivery.
Plus, you'll get a great deal every day on name brands you know and trust.
Great deals, outstanding service, and free delivery. You're going to love
Hubbard & Hope Furniture, Blytheville and Osceola.
Indians
Andy Manus and Ryan Short welcome you back to the fourth quarter here in Mark Tree, where the Indians are hanging on to this one, trailing to the EPC Warriors 12-6. EPC scored their touchdowns. Well, actually, both teams scoring their touchdowns in the first quarter, haven't scored since. EPC trying to find some momentum here in the second half. They're about to run just their 8th play of the entire second half. Held to just 2 plays back in that third quarter, but now they've got a little bit of momentum. But a 2nd and 11 coming up here after that timeout. Had to call a timeout to avoid the delay of game penalty, and now Raines comes out with 3 wide receivers. Gates standing to his right. It'll be Gates taking the handoff right up the gut across the 50-yard line. Got the first down. He's down at the 45. Rayshawn Gates using that burst of speed right up the gut will once again move the sticks for the Warriors.
Yeah, great lead block right there as he was able to get through the line of scrimmage, and then it was near. I mean, he was almost past the linebackers before anyone even touched him.
I just got to say, comment real quick. That was a great shot by our camera crew, a close-up on those Warrior helmets. Those things are sweet. Just got a good look at those
logos.
Yeah, the logo of the Warrior on the helmet. That's pretty cool looking. Oh, got him off sides. No whistle blown, though. Whoa, he jumped in the neutral zone for sure. Here's an option play. Raines spinning off one defender and drug backwards to about the 48-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 12 coming up. He wanted the flag, too.
Yeah.
He just told the referee,
So
hey,
he
man, where's the
jumped
flag
off sides,
at?
And I don't know if a conversation it pursued after that, but he was shaking his head no, saying, nah, you almost had me, but not this time.
Even the defender looked up after he did it and was like, okay, I'll just step backwards and act like I didn't do that. Inside of 9 minutes left to play now in the ball game. 2nd and 10 from the Indian 45-yard line. 3 wide receivers bunched up over on the far side, but it's a handoff to Gates running to his right. He's got the corner at the 40, stiff-arming a defender down to the 35 and the 30. And the referee took a spill. How about that? The Piles pushed out of bounds. The referee took a tumble with him. We do have a flag down at the 41-yard line. Interested to see what this is going to be after that nice run by Rayshawn Gates.
I think they're discussing a holding penalty again. It's going to be the 2nd time they've called that here in the second half against EPC when they're running that sweep to the far side. The wide receiver is simply doing as he's taught and is blocking his receiver downfield, and for whatever reason that's been called twice now on EPC. I think it's simply that the cornerback, his shoulders are getting turned. I think that's the only reason he has justification to call that. If it makes any difference, the flag was out before this near side official hit the ground.
3 wide receivers lining up on the far side now here on 2nd and about 13 to go for the Warriors. 8:30 left to play here in the ball game. Mark Tree only going to bring 3 down linemen. Launches up a duck, and Jack Brown had the interception, and he knew it. Boy, he threw it right to Jack Brown, and EPC dodges a bullet there.
Goodness. He could have pitched a tent, started the fire under that thing. I mean, he was sitting there just waiting for it.
He had time to field that one like a punt.
He could have called a fair catch. But at the end of the day, just like in any other sport, it's going to go down as an incomplete pass, and now it's a 3rd and 13, and for EPC, you're hoping to keep your offense on the field because they haven't been out on the field much the second half. For Mark Tree, you need to stop. You need to stop because you're down 6, and you've got to get your offense back down the field.
Big play coming up here. 3rd and 13, 8:25 to play in the ball game. Raines, delayed handoff to Gates, running back the other way. This is a big play for Rayshawn Gates down the far sideline. Flung out of bounds. It looked like by his helmet, and flags come flying out at the end of that one. This one definitely going against Mark Tree here. And another one comes out at the end.
Great play call right there for EPC. We have not seen that delayed handoff so far. After the play, we're going to have horse collar against Mark Tree, and then we're also probably going to have some type of unsportsmanlike conduct as well. I'm not sure who's that's going to go against.
I did see another flag come flying out at the end of, at the very end of that, and it appears that it's just going to be a horse collar. They're not going to tack on additional yardage for that. But take a look, great play call there by the Warriors as they move the entire defense to the right side of the field, and then with the delay handoff, Gates moves it back to the left. Great play call.
That turns a 15-yard gain to a 30 game, and now they're inside the red zone.
15th play coming up here. Big hit that time, and he lost the football again. Ball is down near the goal line. Let's see who fell on top of it.
It's either going to be a touchdown or a turnover.
Well, EPC comes up with it, and they've got the ball at about the 1 yard line. But can you advance the ball as an offensive lineman? Can you advance the football on a fumble? They may have to call this one down where the fumble occurred.
Because it definitely came out 3 or 4 yards back further than it was, but then we also have a flag on the play. So be curious to see how this one's going to play out here as they sort it out right at the goal line.
Well, and Rayshon Gates got hit hard at the end of that play. I'm glad to see him pop up because he took a wallop when he let go of that one.
So they've got the ball marked inside the 5 yard line, but now it looks like it's going back. It's probably going to be a holding penalty against EPC. Hands to the face there. That's going to be one of the offensive linemen using the hands to block the defender. But take another look at this. Watch the hit that Rayshon Gates takes. Just falls in an awkward position here. Boom, man, and he lost it. Looks like his helmet started to pop off once again. That was Anderson for Mark Trelay in that hit. So as we've seen before, both teams tonight, you march it down inside the red zone, and then all of a sudden you get a penalty, and now it's first, and I think they've got a mark about 19 to 20.
Yep, 3 wide receivers for Raines. He's throwing to the far sideline, and again the wide receiver not turning to find the football. How many times have we seen that happen tonight for the Warriors? That's at least the 3rd time. Could have been a completion, but the wideout wasn't looking for it. Take another look. He had his man on the curl route there.
I mean, he did you could tell by the way his helmet was moving. He was looking up to sort of locate the ball, but at that point he was just a few seconds too late.
Yeah, timing wasn't there between the quarterback and receiver. So now 2nd and about 20 coming up. Inside 8 minutes left to play here in the ball game. 7:49, the official time on the game clock. Play clock ticking down near 10 seconds as the Warriors line up. Here goes Harston on the jet sweep, but it's a handoff to Gates right up the middle. It wasn't Harston on the jet sweep, but either way, Gates takes the handoff. He'll move it forward for a good 5-6 yards, and it'll be 3rd and about 13 coming up. Boy, if that 3rd down play a moment ago wasn't big, this one is definitely.
Looks like some Mark Tree players are
Yeah, I got some cramping going on out here at about the 25-yard line, or the 20-yard line, rather. And so,
actually, I think we've got something dislocated, so we need to take a good little timeout here.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and step aside. 7:28 left to play here in the 4th quarter. We're back in Mark Tree after this.
Life doesn't always go as planned. So when a power surge affects your TV, or a breakfast mishap takes out your laptop, Guardware multi-device protection gives you peace of mind, knowing your devices will be repaired or replaced with just one call, and without breaking the bank. Protection you can trust. Guardware from Ritter. Enroll today to keep what matters most protected tomorrow.
Look at his hand. Look at his. Andy Maness and Ryan Short back here with you in Mark Tree as Orlando Harper just had to make his way off the field. He has got a gnarly looking hand right now, and hopefully nothing broken in there. Maybe just might have jammed it a little bit, but when he hit the ground, they were immediately calling for some paramedics out on the field. So glad to see him just get up and walk it off. But he's getting some attention now here on the near sideline. 3rd and 15 after the injury timeout. 7:28 left to play in the ball game. Warriors got to convert here to avoid a 4th down. There's a handoff on the jet sweep. Running to the right. A lot of blockers out ahead of him. Good open field tackle, though, just inside the 20-yard line by the Indians. They'll stop a big gain from occurring. It'll be 4th and 12 coming up at the 7-minute mark here in the 4th quarter.
The game's going to hinge on this play right here. If EPC can get a first down, get it in the end zone on this possession, we're going to be looking at a two-score game. And as we've seen, the Mark Tree offense has had success, but they haven't been able to find pay dirt. For Mark Tree, if you get a stop right here, I mean, we've seen so much juice pumped up on their side of the ball, and if they get the ball back, you know they're going to be going out pedal to the metal.
5 seconds left on the play clock. They break the huddle. Rains ready to go. There's the snap before the play clock hits 0. Passing over the middle. It's a slant pass, incomplete. And on 4th down, the Warriors will give it back to the Mark Tree Indians with 6:32 to play. Hit the wide receiver in the hands. Harston just had it thrown a little bit behind him and couldn't get quite turned around enough to haul it in.
Yeah, and now we've been talking about personnel issues all game. So what we have right now is, I believe you said it was Orlando here on the near side. It's cheerleaders and fans have sort of gathered around him looking at him. Well, one of the people around them is their main play caller. He's over here looking at him, so they're trying to switch personnel out, have somebody else go over here and tend to him while their Mark Tree offense gets on the field.
This is, believe it or not, the worst starting position for the Mark Tree Indians all night long. They're starting all the way back at their own 18-yard line. Talked about that a little bit tonight. Both teams kind of starting their drives right around midfield, but this is the farthest that Mark Tree will have to go here tonight. And you can see they're not showing any signs of wearing down. You got Bobby Swink out here dancing around while we're waiting on the official to start the play. And actually, we're going to have a timeout called by Mark Tree. So the Indians burn their first timeout of the second half. Each team now with 2 remaining here with 6:32 to play in the fourth quarter. We'll step aside for another break. We're back with more fourth quarter action right after this on Tubetown, live local from Ritter Communications.
How much bandwidth will satisfy your home's hunger? The average household now has more wireless devices in use a day than ever before, including TVs, laptops, tablets, and smartphones. HD streaming and gaming can use large amounts of data and slow down speeds for other users. The more devices you use, the more bandwidth your home needs. So make sure you have enough bandwidth. Get up to 100 megs with internet from Ritter Communications. It's the speed you need to power all your devices. Call today.
Andy Manis and Ryan Short back here with you in Mark Tree. 6:32 to play in the ball game. 12-6 is your score. Mark Tree trailing, but they've got the football right now, starting this drive on their own 18-yard line.
You can see number 58, Orlando Harper's back on the field. They've got him taped up, and I don't know what injury he sustained, but he's back on the field.
There's the snap, handoff to Anderson. Anderson following his blockers, running to his right. He's across the 25, across the 30, down across the 35, moving the pile all the way down to the 43-yard line. But this one likely coming back, a flag laying down back at about the 20-yard line. And that's going to hurt the Indians quite a bit. Hate to see that. You get a nice play on the ground there, and it's going to be negated by a holding call. I don't know how much legs that Jamaria Anderson has left after the effort we've seen him give tonight on both offense and defense, but wasn't showing any signs of slowing down there. It is a holding penalty on Mark Tree, so they will back it up 10 yards from the spot of the foul. It will now be 2nd and 20 based on where that flag's laying. Couldn't see. Oh, there was the hold right there. Big number 70, I think, was the one who got called for that. That's Chaz Simmons. Just didn't let the jersey go of the defender who was trying to run away from him, and yeah, you just gotta let him go once the ball is past you.
That's 14 penalties for 125 yards going into Mark Tree.
So they've got it spotted 1st and 17 now after the penalty.
I don't suspect we're going to see Anderson come out of this game. He's going to be a huge part, and now look who's back at quarterback.
Yep, Eli McCrary back in. Jack Brown lined up at wide receiver. McCrary looking to throw. He's going to Brown. Pass is tipped. It's picked off by Bush at the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5. Jukes a man into the end zone. EPC has scored a touchdown. Hey, but a flag back down at the 5-yard line. Judging from the location of this, though, I would assume it's going to be holding, but we'll see.
It came out after the interception happened, so I'm going to think it was some type of block that happened after the interception happened, and I'm afraid this is going to go against Mark Tree.
I think it's going to go against EPC on the return. So they're going to get the pick. They're going to get the ball back, but they don't get the score. So not quite what they want, but they do get the turnover, and they've got it back now near the Mark Tree red zone if they're not in it. Well, they're in it. Ball spotted at the 16-yard line. Well, McCrary was just trying to wind up and let that one loose to Jack Brown, and luckily for EPC, one of the Warriors got a big paw on it. So can the Mark Tree defense make one more stand here to keep the EPC Warriors out of the end zone with 6:02 remaining?
Yeah. They've done it so far all during the second half. So let's see if they can muster up just one more stop.
Orlando Harper still getting some work done to him here on the near sideline. 1st and 10. Loose football. The Indians fell on top of it. Are you kidding me, folks? A missed snap from quarterback to center, and the Indians, with a heads-up play, fall on top of it.
They're holding up 2 fingers. I see you. They're saying it's. They're saying that.
Oh wow!
EPC
no.
Somehow came back up with the ball.
Oh, good job by the Warriors getting in there and grabbing the football at the bottom of the pile, because it sure looked like Mark Tree had recovered that one. Big break there for the Warriors.
It is 2nd down and 10 for EPC.
2nd and 10 coming up now.
Man, that was a lot of excitement for nothing, I'm just going to say.
Harston's going to go in motion, fake the jet sweep. Raines keeps it himself, running to his right up the middle now, and he'll get down across the 10-yard line to about the 6, maybe the 7, but not quite enough to move the chains, I don't believe. It'll be 3rd and short now coming up for the Warriors. One more chance to force a 4th down play here for Mark Tree. 5:15 to play in the 4th quarter.
Raines came up from that tackle right there, favoring his right leg a little bit, but he's going to stay in the ball game.
Harston's going to go out wide on the far side. Actually, they're going to bunch him up here near the line of scrimmage. Haven't seen this formation yet. Raines, pitch out to Gates. Gates looking for some running room. He's got the 1st down and then some. He'll be taken down near the goal line at about the 2-yard line. Creative play that time from the EPC Warriors. You saw the tailback line up behind the 3 wide receivers over there, bunched up on the far side of the offensive line, and they were just out there to block for him.
We can tell that the EPC coaching staff has obviously held a couple plays in their back pocket, knowing that this game, it's a rivalry game. It's going to come down to you're going to need every last little bit. And we saw on their last possession that little misdirection play, and then right there, that's the first time we've seen that play tonight as well.
It'll now be 1st and goal from the 3-yard line. Raines under center. Let's see if we see another keeper here or if they hand it off. There's the handoff to Gates. Gates trying to find the edge, and he's got it. Across the goal line for a Warrior touchdown, and EPC extends their lead by 6 late here in the 4th quarter.
Take a look here on the Ritter Communication replay, just bouncing it to the outside, able to use his speed to get into the end zone, and now it's a 2-score game. Mark Tree's facing this deficit. They've held possession for most of the second half, but haven't been able to get any points on the board. So one thing I want to mention, though, before we had all those events happen, it seemed like in the last 5 minutes, what Mark Tree went to is they put Anderson in the backfield, basically gave it to him and just let him run with it. I'll be curious to see if that's their game plan coming into this last little bit.
Here's a handoff to Gates, running to his right, trying to score here, get 2 points, and I think they got in there. They did. So they'll tack on 2 more to this lead. It's now 20-6 with 4:22 remaining here in the ball game. We'll step aside, and when we come back, it'll be Mark Tree football right after this on Tubetown, live local from Ritter Communications.
No matter what kind of business you own or operate, you need to keep it connected. Ritter Communications delivers the fastest business internet speeds available at a price that won't slow you down. Ritter offers reliable 24-hour service with network monitoring, along with the scalable options your business needs to grow. And we do it all on our own fiber optic network. The choice is yours, and so is the savings. Connect to something better. Call or visit ritterbusiness.com today.
Andy Manus and Ryan Short back here with you with 4:22 remaining here in the fourth quarter. EPC, 4 plays, 16 yards. Capitalized with a 3-yard touchdown rush from Rayshawn Gates. Got the 2 points this time. It makes it 20-6. Some creative play calling there on that last drive there for the Warriors, capitalizing on a turnover, that interception from TJ Bush. And now all they have to do is just keep the Indians out of the end zone here for the remaining 4:22.
You see Mark Tree a little bit defeated on this near side of the field. A lot of players got their hands on their hips. They've put up such a good fight here in the second half, but I'll be curious to see offensively what their mentality is when they come out.
And now a referee on the far side of the field has got his hand up. And these officials back here at about the 20-yard line are discussing some things. So waiting to see what's going on. And now the officials are talking with Coach Dunn. We've got an assistant coach who's waving. Oh, we've got some administrators who are going to have to come down on the field for some reason. We may have an unruly fan situation over on the far sideline. But play has stopped for the time being, and here comes someone from the school faculty down the near sideline. See Coach Dunn and another assistant coach talking on your screen there with the head officials. They're going to, I believe, have to come over and remove somebody. I don't know if they are over there on the EPC sideline or if they're over here on the Mark Tree sideline. So now the head official is still waiting to see what's happening. See some EPC Warrior fans there on your screen.
I'm not sure if we're going to get any clarification on this since it's all conversations that's taking place on the field. I don't know if there's necessarily some type of hand gesture that the officials can give us to tell us what's going on.
Yeah, can't call a penalty on a fan, or there's no holding or pass interference.
We're just trying to read body language, and we're trying to figure out what exactly is going on. There's a lot of conversations taking place right now.
Yeah, one of the officials is talking with a couple of players over here at about the 35. Now the head referee's headed over to talk to Coach Powell. And they're pointing towards the stands now.
Seems that whatever's going on is going on the EPC side of the ball. Or side of the field, that is.
Yeah, play is, again, if you're just joining us, play stopped right now. 4:22 left to play in the ball game. It's 20-6. East Poinsett County just scored a touchdown to go up. And now it looks like we're definitely going to have somebody removed. I see a couple of officers of the law headed over there on the far sideline, and they have got a young girl who's letting people know what she thinks out there. She dressed up like the Statue of Liberty. What is she?
I have no idea.
She got some ears on her head? I don't even know. She's got owl feathers on her head there. She must be her Indian headdress.
Hey, well, she doesn't have to pay for an Uber. She doesn't have to call a Lyft. I think she's going to.
Looks like she's getting a free ride out of here.
Yeah.
Here's the kick. It will be taken at the 20-yard line, across the 25. Now down the far sideline, hopping over quite a few people. Brought down at about the 35-yard line.
You don't see that very often in high school sports, where you have to have a fan removed from the game before you can start.
Yeah, and she is still being escorted out of here. Looks like it looks like an older. Well, excuse me.
Whoa now, hey now.
Shouldn't have said that. Let's just get back to football. 4:16 remaining here in the fourth quarter. 20-6 is your score. Mark Tree with the football right now, 1st and 10. My mom always told me if you start to dig a hole, just quit digging.
Hey, there you go.
Indians come back out on offense. McCrary in the shotgun formation with a tailback in the backfield. There's the snap. Hand off to Johnson. Johnson trying to shrug off one defender, and he can't get past the initial contact, and the rest of the EPC Warrior defense will catch up to him. So now 2nd and 15 coming up.
Clock's going to continue to run right now. EPC has, or excuse me, Mark Tree does have some timeouts to burn, but right now it doesn't seem like they're really moving with a sense of urgency.
I think they still got all 3 of theirs remaining, and the EPC's got 2 of theirs. They also have a 14-point lead here with 3:45 to play in the ball game.
With the EPC touchdown and then the little delay that we had, it's kind of taking the wind out of the sails here.
It has, but here's a pass from McCrary looking for Ivy, and he's got him. 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. How about that? 2 plays is all it took for Mark Tree to find the end zone, and just like that, they are only 8 points away.
Gosh, so in the first half we had a 59-yard pass and catch right there. That one's going to go for 62, simply running past the defender, breaks 1 tackle, and then he's off to the races. I mean, we were fixing to put a bow on this thing, but let me tell you, the Mark Tree fans that have stuck around are on their feet right now.
It was a 72-yard play for the Mark Tree Indians, and they now are, see if they bring their extra point team on or if they're going to go for 2.
Right now, Mark Tree, I mean, their only scoring plays has been that right there.
Johnson standing in the backfield to the left of McCrary. There's the handoff. Johnson trying to leap over a defender to reach out and get to the goal line. He can't get there. 2-point conversion is no good. So the score is now 20-12 with 3:27 left to play in the ball game. Still plenty of time for Mark Tree if they can make a stop here on defense. They do have all 3 timeouts, and we'll just keep it right here while the teams get set. Still have all 3 timeouts remaining in the second half. EPC has got 2, so Mark Tree can stop the clock if they wish. They're going to have to come up with some big plays on defense here.
Man, just literally I'm trying to regurgitate the words that came out of my mouth as far as the wind being taken out of the sails. And, I mean, as soon as you put kids in a corner and you tell them, hey, it's not looking good for you, they come back with a big play like that. Now they still have a lot of work to do. I mean, you're asking your special teams right here to have successful kick coverage. You're asking your defense to come out and get some type of stop. But it's not out of the realm of possibility.
EPC's got 2 men back deep, standing at the 25-yard line. The rest of their hands team is up at about the 40 to try to guard against any sort of trickery here on this kickoff return, or in this kickoff attempt, rather. You got Rayshawn Gates standing at the 40-yard line alongside Andrew Harston. A couple of the other hands team over there on the far side. Let's see where Mark Tree's going to kick this football. It's Jaquan Lott who's out to kick this one away. Onside kick. Flag comes out. It should be offside, or excuse me, false start rather, against Mark Tree, so they'll have to back up and kick it again.
False start against the Indians. See a 5-yard penalty.
That was just practice run.
Well, I think some initial movement by the kicking team from Mark Tree caused a few of the players to think a whistle had already been blown, and they weren't ready for the kick whenever it was kicked.
Yeah, and you can see some of the EPC players were looking over the sidelines to decline that, but unfortunately you can't decline a false start, so they're going to have to do this one again. Looks like the head coach over here was signaling for some type of pooch kick, so the onside kick may not have fared too well, but we'll see what they try to come up with here.
Again, Mark Tree still has all 3 of their timeouts. See what happens here on this kick. It is a kick. Return man backpedals past the 30-yard line. to the far side of the field. Now he's going to cut up between the hash marks. Spins off of one defender and taken down at the 35-yard line. And now we got some little bit of extracurricular activities going on out there between a couple of the special teams members. Jordan Ratton, I saw kind of jostling with one of the EPC players.
Okay, 3:20 on the clock. EPC has it. They've got an 8-point lead, but if we've learned anything from watching this game so far, it's not going to lack in the theatrics.
So EPC on their 35-yard line. .320 left to play in the ball game. There's the handoff to Gates, right up the gut. Just keep the ball on the ground and keep the clock moving. 2nd and about 9 coming up. Make it 2nd and 8. Gain of about 1.5 yards there by Gates, right up the gut.
So Mark Tree had to burn a timeout in the 3rd quarter when they had that injury. So they're going to have 2 timeouts, using them conservatively here. If they can get some type of stop, you imagine they're going to start going through those pretty quick. If you're head coach, Coach Dunn, you're definitely aware of what's going on right now.
2:45 and counting. Play clock down to 5 seconds. There's the snap. There's the handoff to Gates. Again, he will be bottled up right at the line of scrimmage, and it'll be 3rd and still about maybe 6 to go. A pickup of about 2 yards on that carry.
Still holding on to those timeouts too for Mark Tree.
See if they can get a stop here on 3rd down. Big play. Clock continues to tick. Now under 2:20.
It'll be under 2 minutes before EPC has to snap the ball.
Yeah, play clock down to 10 seconds. Now they're going to get ready to go. I formation. Raines is under center. Gates in the backfield. Turns around, hands it off to Gates. Gates driven down in the backfield. So the stop was made. There's the timeout for the Mark Tree Indians. Great stand by the defense.
Sending everybody. They know exactly what's going on as soon as they wrapped him up. Like we said, Coach Dunn's aware of his timeouts. He went through his 2nd, so they're going to have one more with the punt coming. And, of course, as we've seen tonight, no penalties, nothing, no funny business. If this is just your standard punt, return, Mark Tree has a chance to be right back in this thing. I mean, and something we need to mention, they're going to have a 2-point conversion to go along with it.
They will have to convert the 2 if they do manage to find the end zone in the final minute 54. That's assuming, as you said, everything goes smoothly on this punt. They're able to get it back. That's, I mean, EPC, you might see them pull out a fake here. You never know.
I'll be curious to see if Brown is back to return for Mark Tree. He's been doing the most of that legwork tonight, and typically what you see, especially at this level, is high school coaches tend to call their punt returns to their sideline. So if it is a good punt and it's clean, look for Brown. If he's able to successfully catch the ball and have any yards after that return, that he's going to be coming to this near side. Ideally, I mean, that's typically what you see.
Well, look at the Indians. They look like they're going to bring everybody here and try to maybe get to this punt. Brown is standing at his own 40-yard line, and now I believe we've got another timeout on the field. Nope, beg your pardon. There's going to be a flag down on the field on the far sideline, and I'm going to see what this is.
It's number 16 for.
Oh, it's going to be offsides against Mark Tree.
So it looks like they were going to send the house, and they were trying to jump the snap a little bit, got them offsides. Now it's going to be.
Now you got your offense coming back out on the field. They're going to look like they might try to go for it here.
Or a hard count. I mean,
or go for a hard
count.
Point,
you still have timeouts as well. They still have 2 timeouts of their own. So you can go a hard count right here, try to get a free first down.
Offense back out on the field. Mark Tree looks like they're going to bring everybody. Just don't jump off sides if you're an Indian. Play clock down to 10 seconds.
And we're going to have a false start on EPC. Oh, my goodness.
And so that, once again, changes your game plan up.
I would bet $1 we see the punt team now.
Yep, punt team comes back out.
Such a convincing hard count that you got your own lineman to jump off sides. That's pretty impressive. Okay, back to where we were a second ago. Just had to add some more.
Act like the last minute did not happen.
Yeah, just put some more ticks on my tally mark for penalties.
Yep, there's the snap. Clean punt. It'll bounce at the 44-yard line. Mark Tree's going to pick it up. Anderson across the 50, across the 45, 40, 35, 30 down the near sideline. He is taken down at about the 25-yard line, but a flag is going to bring this one back, I believe. How about the moxie by Jamaria Anderson? Nobody near that football, just runs and scoops it up, takes it a good 20, 25 yards.
It's all going to come back, though, because we had a block in the back at the 50, and then we also got a penalty here on the near side as the play happens. So if we have another unsportsmanlike conduct from the spot of the foul, this thing could back up pretty quick.
Yeah, Jamaria Anderson's got his helmet off here on the near sideline, and he was talking with Coach Dunn. Coach Dunn, and he's kind of got his palms turned upward like, what did I do? And take another look. Clean punt. Doesn't go anywhere near Brown.
And then here on the near side, as soon as we get him in picture, the first block you see right here is going to be a block in the back right there, brought him to the ground. And then I'm not sure what happened after the play right here that's going to be the additional penalty.
This could be big if it's offsetting. But I don't think it's going to be. I think they're going to mark it way back here at about the 45-yard line. We'll see, but there is a penalty marker sitting right at the 36, or excuse me, the 26 rather.
Still waiting for all them to get this sorted out, so we know exactly what's going to happen. So the penalty was a personal foul. They're going to step off the 15. Let's see if there's anything additional. So they must have picked up the flag for the block in the back. There was two flags sitting right where Anderson corralled the ball before he took off with it. It looked like a surefire block in the back, but nonetheless, Mark Tree has it.
Indian football on the Warrior 43-yard line. Here we go. McCrary surveys the defense, takes the snap. He's looking to throw. Steps up, tosses it to Brown. Is that picked off? Picked off by Harston. Andrew Harston snatched that right out of the air to give the ball back to the Warriors with 1:34 to play in the game.
An incredible catch right there. I mean, that's why you keep your athletes on the field. Harston's back there. He's sort of playing center field, and he just reads that. Brown's running a little flag route to the outside, and it was a well-thrown ball, double coverage, but Harston just beat him to it, able to keep it through, and just like that, the remaining Mark Tree fans that were here are starting to head for the exit.
Yeah, even with 2 timeouts left, there's not really much you can do with a $1:34 left to play in this one. They do have 1 timeout remaining. That's right. Mark Tree's got 1 remaining. There's the handoff to Gates. Gates and Raines ran into each other, but Gates is still going to be able to pick up about a yard and stay inbounds, so it will keep the clock moving. And Mark Tree will call their final timeout of the game. 1:25 remaining here in the 4th quarter. 20-12 is your score. EPC still leading Mark Tree. They've got the football, 2nd and about 7 when we come back here on Tubetown. Live local from Ritter Communications.
911, what's your emergency?
I'm home alone. Someone is trying to get in the back door.
Find a safe place like in a closet or under a bed, okay?
Okay.
Be very quiet and don't worry. Your home phone gave me your location.
Hurry.
Help is on the way.
Only a dedicated home phone can quickly pinpoint your address for emergency personnel. Cell phones can't. Keep your loved ones safe for less than 60 cents a day with a home phone from Ritter. Call today or go to rittercommunications.com.
Andy Manus, Ryan Short, welcome you back to the 4th quarter here in Mark Tree. The Indians, man, trying to rally at the end of this one. Look like they're going to come up a little bit short, but we still have 1:25 left to play in this ball game, so don't count them out just yet. But they're going to need a couple of miscues from EPC. 12-20 is the score. No timeouts remaining for the Indians.
This has been a game that we've thought, I mean, throughout the whole course of the third quarter, that at any point Mark Tree could knock on the door and they could be able to get this into a manageable position. But then you have a couple turnovers, a couple unfortunate penalties, and
EPC scores, and you think they're out. Yeah, you think they're out, and then they come back with that big two-play touchdown drive, 72 yards. Run right up the gut from Gates. We'll make it 3rd and about 5 with 1:10 remaining.
Okay, so quick math tells me they need to run a play for about 8 seconds.
Yeah, if they were to come up with a 4th down, that would leave Mark Tree with just time for a punt return and nothing else. Unless they called a fair catch, of course.
Still going to be awfully close. The only scoreboard here is going to be at the south end zone, so it'll be to Mark Tree's back.
There's the snap. Gates right up the gut. Stopped, and now 4th down coming up.
See how quick they can get the ball spotted. Play clock is 25 seconds. So
game clock is at 30.
There will have to be one more snap of the ball.
Yep, they can just come out and take a knee, and that will be it here on 3rd down.
They can get back in punt coverage and snap the ball, hold it, and
Mark Tree frustrated about this one. They will drop this game at home to their rival from down the road. And there is the official end of this one. EPC will come away with a win on the road, 20-12. The final score, the Warriors over their rival, the Mark Tree Indians. What a game we had tonight. Close back and forth battle between these squads. As Ryan said, at any moment you just thought EPC leaving the door open for the Indians was going to result in a different outcome. But the chips have fallen, and the Indians come up short tonight by 8 points. We're going to take a quick break, come back and put a bow on this one, wrap it up, and we'll send you home with a happy Friday night here on Tubetown right after these words from our sponsors.
Introducing Ritter Home Security. Ritter takes care of protecting what's most important to you, from threats like unwelcome visitors and fire, to making your life easier by putting the control of your home at your fingertips. Use the free app to shut the garage, lock the door, turn off lights, arm the system, and more. You can even turn back the thermostat to help save money on your energy bill. Plus, get a snapshot when your kids get home. It's smart, beautiful, convenient, and ready for your busy life. Ritter Home Security.
Until you've seen how fast it really is, some people's reaction to Ritter's 100 megabit internet might be like, 100 mega, huh? Here's how we describe it. Mega beautiful, mega fast, mega blast, mega party, mega Ritter. There's no end to your online possibilities with up to 100 meg internet speeds. In a word, that means mega fun. If you're not getting your high-speed internet from Ritter, you should. Call 888-336-4466 today. Only from Ritter Communications, right by you.
For your smartphones, tablets, phablets. For the browsers you carry in your trousers. Wowzers! For your big screens and small screens, short screens and tall screens, get speed that screams. From the top of your desk to the palm of your hand, it's the fastest internet speed in the land.
There's no end to your online possibilities with up to 100 meg internet speeds. If you're not getting your internet from Ritter, you should. Call 888-336-4466 today. Ritter Communications, right by you.
High-speed internet for every grown-up, grandparent, kid, teen, and in between. Ritter's got it. Every JPEG, MPEG, and GIF for the working mom or the working stiff, loaded in a GIF. Whether you're a blogger, gamer, or pixel tamer, don't be a slow-speed blamer. Don't waste your time waiting to load that page. Get Ritter high-speed internet. It's all the rage.
There's no end to your online possibilities with up to 100 meg internet speeds. Only from Ritter Communications, right by you.
You work here, you play here, you live here, and yet most of what you watch on television is about somewhere other than here. Until now, we proudly present Tubetown, TV about you. Tubetown is a Ritter Communications exclusive network featuring local sports, community events, unique and original programming from our community. Tubetown takes what's best about television, what's best about the community, and brings them together. Tubetown, only from Ritter Communications, right by you.
Technology was supposed to make our lives easier. No one told us about the plethora of glitches, viruses, hackers, hundreds of passwords to remember, and getting all our tech to sync up. Introducing Tech Home. Technology made easy for you and your devices. Tech Home makes it easy to set up, protect, and enjoy your internet-connected devices anytime, anywhere. Security, password management, backup, and premium tech support. Get back in charge of your digital life now with Tech Home.
Andy Maness and Ryan Short welcome you back to Mark Tree, where the Indians have fallen tonight to the East Poinsett County Warriors by a final score of 20-12. A fun one to be a part of. All of our touchdowns were scored in the first quarter and then in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
The second and third quarter, a little bit of a stalemate. You go back to that third quarter, and it was a third quarter controlled completely by the Mark Tree Indians, and ultimately they just fell short by 8 points. Could not quite they just didn't quite have the stamina and the horses to keep up with EPC tonight. I was looking on the sideline. They only had 8 substitutes to put into the game tonight. So I give a ton of credit to this Mark Tree football team with so many guys playing both ways tonight.
Yeah, they're going to fall to 1-5 on the season. Obviously, next week they're going to be playing Salem. They're going to be back home again. So look for them to rebound next week and hopefully be able to get another win under their belt. For EPC, next week they're going to have a home game against McCrory. I mean, looking at the numbers historically in that matchup, they're going to be pretty favored. They're going to move their season to 5-1, so a good win for East Poinsett County. The Warriors, Coach Powell, they were able to come in here and get the job done tonight.
Yeah, this was one that EPC circles on their calendar every year, and of course after getting blown out 38-0 last year, they really wanted to come away with a win tonight. As Ryan mentioned, they go to a record of 3-0 now in the conference. Looking at their upcoming schedule, Ryan mentioned McCrory, but keep an eye on this. EPC is going to have to finish out this conference year with 3 road games, so keep an eye on that. Always anytime you have to go and win conference games on the road, it's difficult, as you see them struggle a little bit tonight with their arrival in Mark Tree. But again, they'll have to finish the year out on the road in conference play. Didn't quite score 32 points tonight. That's their average, but still played a great football game against these Mark Tree Indians. Big thanks to all of our camera crew, Richard and Nathan, and of course our graphics crew down in the truck, Brandon and Tyler and Anthony. Big thanks to those guys. Could not do it without y'all. And of course, take a look at our schedule. We are off next week. Going to take a bye week so we can rest and recuperate, get ready for playoff action. October 19th, we will be back. We'll be in Jonesboro as the Golden Hurricane will take on Searcy. That one will be a great one to be a part of. Of course, both of those two teams in tonight. Jonesboro was leading Pine Bluff earlier. Searcy was leading Marion earlier. So we'll get to see what those two teams look like here in just a couple of weeks. And then, of course, we'll finish out the year with the flex schedule game. We're going to scour the schedules and find the best game to bring to you here on Tubetown. So make sure you stay tuned for the announcement on that one. Of course, hey, if you want to be a sponsor of Tubetown, just give our friend Marcus Carlton a call. Give our friend Marcus Carlton a call. He's our executive producer. He will hook you up. All right, guys, we're out of here for this Friday evening. Hope everybody has a safe, fun Friday evening. Again, your final score, 20-12. East Poinsett County defeats Mark Tree here on Tubetown. For Ryan Short, I'm Andy Maness. So long. We'll see you in a couple of weeks back here on the Tubetown Facebook page.